a little midweek matchup here for the top of the Odak Mountain. Hello, baseball fans. I'm Kyle Haney, my partner Ethan Maratsky. Ski, it's Lynchburg, it's Randolph-Macon. It's always a good one, my friend.
Yeah, it's always a huge rivalry going up against the school up the street in Ashland. Every single year that I played here, it was always a tough matchup. They're always a solid team. Coach Hedrick does a great job with obviously coaching in the recruiting process. So it's an exciting matchup in midweek in the Hill City. So there's nothing really else to say. This is going to be a fantastic baseball day. Weather's nice and cool, some clouds up in the air, but we expect the sun to come out every once in a while today. And it's not just the only midweek that they got this week. They got Greensboro tomorrow, so back-to-back days of baseball is always exciting too when you look at it like that.
It is going to be exciting to be here at Fox for 2 straight days. This one here feels like it has a bit more weight, a bit more gravity. Nothing against the Greensboro Pride tomorrow, but this is an ODAC matchup. These are two teams very familiar with each other. 5-5 in the last 10 meetings between these squads, Ethan, and 8 of those games decided by 4 runs or less. That's the old one swing of the bat rule there, 4 runs or less. So that means 80% of the time you're going to have a close matchup. And interesting to note, Randolph-Macon has actually won 4 out of the last 5 regular season meetings. Lynchburg, as you know, has gotten the better of the Yellow Jackets in the ODAC tournament. Think back to Wesley Arrington's no-hitter last year, and then think back to Richmond 2 years ago in 2023, where you and the Hornets won a very close game there to set Lynchburg up for another ODAC title. It's back-to-back tournament titles for Lynchburg. Randolph-Macon, it should be noted, was the regular season champion last year.
Yeah, they're always going to, like I said earlier, they're always going to have a solid team. They're going to play well against everybody in the ODAC, and especially Lynchburg. You got that little bit of added-on pressure with Coach Beasley, now the head coach at the University of Lynchburg, obviously was the pitching coach before that, and actually played for Coach Danny Hedrick at Randolph-Macon, and it's always going to have that extra edge being an ODAC matchup and how good these teams have been in not just the past 4 years, but the past 4+ years. I mean, Randolph-Macon is always going to be a top team in the nation, whether that's top 25 or anything higher than that. They're always going to be solid, and they're always going to give every single top team in the nation a solid battle.
Both teams were in East Lake, Ohio last year for the D3 World Series. It was an interesting postseason for Randolph-Macon last year. We can talk about that some as we move on, but we've got plenty of storylines about this season as well. Lynchburg currently the 3rd-ranked team in the nation. Hornets are 17-3, 6-1 in ODAC play. Randolph-Macon, I won't call it a slow start, but they are 11-6, 7-2 in conference. Both teams will be hungry to get one here today. You and I were talking. Always seems to be tough to win on the road in this rivalry, even though Randolph-Macon did do that last year against Lynchburg.
Yeah, Fox Field is never easy to play at, and I talked about it a little bit before, a little bit earlier. Going to Randolph-Macon is probably one of the toughest things that I ever had to try and overcome in college baseball. It seemed like there's something in the water up there in Ashland. It was always a tough matchup. They were close games like you talked about, and being able to come out on top, it was just one of the hardest things. And what I think Randolph-Macon does so well is that when they're statistically the better team, they do a good job playing above their competition, and when they're playing a team that's statistically better like today, we expect to see Randolph-Macon play up to their level and be able to follow up with whatever they have to come at this game.
Well, good transition to some of the numbers. Statistically, these are 2 of the conference's best. Randolph-Macon has the best on-base percentage as a team in the ODAC. Lynchburg's got the best ERA, best fielding percentage, most double plays, and the Hornets are swinging it a little bit as well. We'll also talk about what these two teams were up to this weekend. Randolph-Macon put up 30 runs in their doubleheader against Ferrum, a big one there. Lynchburg got a doubleheader sweep against Guilford right here at Fox Field. Hornets still undefeated at home this year. We'll see if that holds up. We've got Randolph-Macon. We've got Lynchburg. We've got a key ODAC matchup coming your way next on LHSN. Welcome back, baseball fans. My name is Kyle Haney. Ethan Morotsky, my tag team partner, coming off the top rope, and you're the final piece of the puzzle. Thanks for tuning in wherever you are this Tuesday afternoon. First Tuesday of spring, final Tuesday of March, so that's kind of cool, and, you know, it really means we're over halfway here. Ethan, for Lynchburg, this is going to be game 21 of 39. They may get that 40th game rescheduled or pick up an opponent, but yeah, really, we're over halfway through the regular season.
Yeah, you talk about how it's the first Tuesday of spring, but we've had warm weather all semester, it feels like. Obviously, you're going to have those windy days like today in the last real week in the Hill City. It's been windy down at the softball field and here at Fox Field. So it has felt like spring the last couple weeks, but you know, when you say that it is the first Tuesday of spring, you get into that notion where you expect the weather to go up in temperature, and when it doesn't, you feel a little bit of complaints and,
right.
and all this wind that you get. But no, it's always fun. You get a little bit more sun. The days start to feel a little bit better, but it's exciting baseball, and that's what's just the best part about spring.
I'm one of the worst about complaining about the weather. This is a nice day out here. Mostly overcast right now, but as my partner said, we may see the sun before this afternoon ends. It'll be the junior from Berlin, Maryland, Logan Tapman, on the mound for Lynchburg. Tapman was good last week on the road against Hampton-Sydney, but the Hornets did not come away with the victory. That was 3-1 for the Tigers, a game where Lynchburg did not give up an earned run. In fact, Lynchburg in the last 5 straight, Ethan, has only surrendered 1 earned run or fewer. So this Lynchburg staff, especially the starting pitching, but the bullpen too, has really been filling up the strike zone. Guys have been making plays behind them. Yeah,
they've been doing a great job staying consistent on the mound. I feel like one of the things that is catching this team off guard is that they have those fantastic hitting performances every just couple of games. If you can stay more consistent in the hit column, it's just going to make this number 3 team in the nation that much better, and it's always so exciting knowing that that's a possibility with this Lynchburg squad.
5 lefties in the starting lineup here for Randolph-Macon. They are clad in the road wine and black with the white trim, gray pants. Lynchburg in the home black on black, the black cap, red bill. And here we go. Let's play some ODAC baseball on Fox Field this Tuesday. Logan Tapman dotting the outer third for a strike to get us going. Batting order looks like this for the Jackets. Jack Bowles, the right fielder, sophomore, leading off. Aaron Lautenschlager, first baseman, batting second. Carter Schmidt is the DH, hitting third. Chaz Harvey, the catcher, will clean up. John Queasy in center field, batting fifth, as that one's fouled away. James Buffon, the third baseman, will hit sixth. William Tuttle, new man, only has 2 plate appearances so far this season, will play left field and bat seventh for Ray Hedrick's squad. Jordan Hill, the second baseman from Norfolk, hitting eighth, and C.J. Chatterton, shortstop, first-year man from Rockville, Maryland, rounds out the order. We'll set the Lynchburg defense here in just a moment. How about now? The battery mate for Logan Tapman will be Sean Pokorak. At first base, you've got Eric Hyatt. In the middle, it's the Cape Crusaders, Batman and Robin. Ben Jones at second, Brandon Garcia at short. Gavin Collins, the fifth-year man, at the hot corner. In the outfield, left to right, Logan Webster. And you've got Joe Munitz in center, Parker Cato in right. This 0-2 pitch is driven to center field, but looks to be no problem for Joe Munitz as he hauls it in for the first out of the ball game.
Really good at bat by Bowles, and a good job being able to line that one out to center. But that's baseball, and we're starting off with early with that saying. I feel like I say it a ton on this field, but just hit it right towards Joe Munitz. A good barrel and a good start for this offense, and that leadoff hitter really is that trendsetter on this squad and in the lineup, and I think he did a great job there.
Yeah, I thought it was a solid at bat from Jack Bowles. This is Aaron Lautenschlager, senior, hitting .302 on the season, playing first base. He'll hack at the first pitch. Two-hopper hit sharply to Brandon Garcia. He'll load, throw, and connect with Eric Hyatt at first base. 1 pitch, and now 2 outs in the inning. It'll bring up Carter Schmidt. It's a fast-moving first. We got to talk about Logan Tapman. This is why you can't always judge pitchers by the win-loss record, Ethan. It's an 0-1 record right now for Logan Tapman, but the ERA is sub-2. Hitters are hitting just .205 against Logan Tapman, and the whip, the walks plus hits per inning pitched, 0.88. So less than a base runner per inning allowed right now by Logan Tapman, the junior for Lynchburg.
Yeah, pitchers are always, you have to look into their stats. You have to go really deep, and that's the beauty of pitching, is that there's so many statistics to look at. Like you said, there's ERA, earned run average, there's WHIP, which is walks, hits per innings pitched, and there's so many different stats that you can look at and you kind of have to look at, especially with a pitcher as good as Tapman, where he's 0-1 on the season but doing so well in everything.
He's missed the zone a couple times just outside, and it will be a 2-0 count for Carter Schmidt, junior DH, hitting .377 on the year. You've got, it looks like, 6 in the starting lineup for Randolph-Macon, hitting over .300 this season. There are a new face or two in this lineup. Schmidt went down to a knee to try to dig that low pitch out. Came up empty, and now the count is 2-1 with 2 outs. We're in the top of the first inning. Yeah, back to Tapman real quick. Last week against Hampton-Sydney, 6 1/3 innings pitched, surrendered just 3 hits, no earned runs, struck out 5 on 68 pitches. That one well wide out of his hand, and the count will go to 3 balls, 1 strike. There's 2 outs. Chaz Harvey waits on deck for Randolph-Macon. Tapman pitching from the windup. Defense, normal depth straight away. Check swing from Schmidt just off the plate. That's going to be ball 4. Pokerock wanting to check with the third base umpire to see if he went around. And as the third base umpire jogs to the middle of the diamond, he gives the safe call. No, he did not offer at that pitch. And there's your first base runner of the afternoon for either team.
Well, with checking the umpire on a half swing or a check swing, it's one of those where you never really know. Obviously, maybe randomly the umpire could call it a strike and say that he swung, but more times than not, it's going to be a safe call.
It does seem like it's difficult to get the field umpires down the lines to give you the check swing call. You're right. I don't know what the percentages say as Logan Tapman throws to keep a close eye on Carter Schmidt. Here's Chaz Harvey, senior catcher from Charlottesville, hitting just .283 on the season, but he actually homered in both ends of the doubleheader against Ferrum this weekend, so his bat might be heating up. Breaking ball just missed the strike zone there. 1-0 start. Logan Tapman pitching to Chaz Harvey.
The beauty of Logan Tapman is that he's got that firm fastball and a really nice slider. You never know what you're going to get at the beginning of an at-bat.
19 appearances last year for Tapman. Just 3 starts last season. But this year he has really settled himself into this midweek starting role as he twists another breaking ball. This one is a strike. Our count is even at 1-1, 2 outs. In the top of the first inning here at Fox Field, upper 50s, low 60s, a little bit of humidity in the air. There is a slight chance of rain, but I think we'll be just fine to get this game in. And as you heard me and my colleague talking about, we've got baseball tomorrow. That'll be a 3:30 first pitch. Greensboro Pride coming to town. Lynchburg trying to get a little revenge from a midweek loss a couple weeks ago. And you think about Lynchburg this season as Tapman, I think, just missed the landing point on another breaking ball, 2-1. You think about Lynchburg this season, Ski, they haven't lost on the weekend yet. They lost their first game on a Monday. They lost midweek to Greensboro. They lost last week, midweek, to Hampton-Sydney. Hornets have not lost a weekend game yet this year. Part of that is the outstanding starting pitching of guys like Tyler Kaltreiter and Nick Matfield. Chaz Harvey looked like he may not have gone all the way around, but awfully close. Pokerock wants to ask the question, and another field umpire will say no. There was no swing from Chaz Harvey. He did hold up.
Well, going back to that, no losses on weekends, even though we did get that first loss on the Monday, that's something that's superstitious that baseball players love, that they can go into a weekend thinking to themselves.
Yeah, lost 4-2 to Denison on a Monday. Soft contact here by Harvey. Brandon Garcia will chase it down in shallow left field, make the over-the-shoulder catch to end the top of the first inning. 1 on for Randolph-Macon, but 1 stranded, no hits surrendered. Hey, let's just stay right here and keep talking. I'm Kyle Haney. He is Ethan Morotsky. Joe Brennan on the 1s and 2s at the controls today for us. And we've got not our fullest press box that we've ever had. Ethan, we always talk about the population of the press box. Sometimes on those weekend games, I mean, it feels like there's a dozen people in here. Well,
that's the beauty of LHSN, is that there's so many people that can work, and when they don't have everybody in here, everybody who's working today, we got Jonathan Faust, we got Grayson and Eli working today. They're all great at their jobs, and that's the beauty of the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network. And Joe Brennan, can't forget about the director today, Joe Brennan.
You talk about a unit that does the most with their resources, a squad that can do more with less. That's LHSN. We're glad you're watching. Got a few roll calls and shout-outs to get to, but let's talk about this lineup for Lynchburg that I think really in the month of March has been coming on strong. Some of that is competition in there, sure. Lynchburg 17-3 this season. The batting order today goes like this. Brandon Garcia leading off, playing shortstop. Joe Munitz, the center fielder, will bat second. Benny Bombs, Ben Jones playing second, hitting third. The catcher, Sean Pokerock, cleaning up. DH today, Jacob Wright, number 2. This will be start number 4 for Jacob Wright. Gavin Collins, the fifth-year man, will hit 6th. Parker Cato, in right field, batting 7th. Eric Hyatt playing first, batting 8th. And Logan Webster, the left fielder, rounds out the batting order. Logan Webster, 23 hits on the season. You were talking about how that kind of snuck up on you a little bit. Ben Jones, Logan Webster, Brandon Garcia, all with 23 hits so far this year. Ethan, that's through 20 games for the Hornets.
Yeah, I think that's why Webster's solidified his spot as that 9-hole. Typically, you call the 9 spot in a lineup the double leadoff, and when you have somebody who's hitting as well as Logan Webster in that 9-hole, being able to flip around the lineup and go right to Brandon Garcia after that is just, it's such a gift in any real lineup.
Yeah, you give guys like Brandon Garcia, Joe Munitz, and Ben Jones a chance to be hitting with somebody on base, and that's a dangerous proposition for an opposing pitcher. The opposing pitcher in this case is William Wyan Jr. from Virginia Beach. He had a very strong postseason last year after not throwing that much. Wyan ended up being one of the go-tos in the postseason. He pitched in 5 of their last 10 and some big games in that postseason run for Randolph-Macon. He'll start Brandon Garcia with a strike. The bottom half of inning number 1 is underway from Fox Field. Wyan from the windup kicks and fires. Garcia likes that one and knifes it into right field. Garcia's going to turn hard around first. Good job there by the right fielder, Jack Bowles, to know that Garcia was looking lively and dangerous, thinking about taking 2. Bowles got that in quickly.
Beautiful swing from Garcia, and the aggressiveness that this lineup has had all year is paying off for them. And it's going to pay off for them today. You're going to get pitches to hit with as good of a pitcher as Wyan is, and Brandon Garcia doing a great job at the leadoff spot. Now you've got somebody who's always going to make some solid contact or tough contact in an at-bat, and Joe Munitz.
And Joe Munitz can play the sacrifice bunt game as well. Lynchburg's got all the options here with the leadoff man, Brandon Garcia, aboard. Nobody out in the bottom of the first. Garcia now with a 6-game hitting streak. Didn't take long to keep that going. Joe Munitz has been on base in 19 straight. Let's see if he gets there again. Hits this ball well in the left center gap. Long run for both outfielders from Randolph-Macon, but the catch is made by William Tuttle. First-year man will haul that in for out number 1 at the bottom of the first.
See this Hornet lineup staying aggressive so far in the first 2 batters, and just got to be able to stay a little bit on top of that baseball, and that's the small downside of being aggressive in a lineup is if you do get under it, that ball, with all the wind that you've got today, it's going to stay up there and make an easy play.
I don't hate it from Joe Munitz. You know that Wyan just gave up the base hit to Brandon Garcia, who looked to be leaning as Wyan throws to first. Garcia back safely on the slide, but yeah, I think Wyan's a little bit uncomfortable there after giving up the single to Hollywood to start the game. So I like it from Munitz attacking early in the count. Did just get under it, as you said. Here's Ben Jones, junior from Durham, North Carolina. Garcia bouncing again, back on the slide. Good long hold there by Wyan, mixing up the delivery and the hold time there. Really a great way to slow down Lynchburg's aggressive running game.
Yeah, something I really like about Brandon Garcia is obviously he's got the talent on the field, but he's got the brains on the field too and knows how to read pitchers and catchers.
Breaking ball from Wyan just missed. Came over the zone. It's a 1-0 count for Ben Jones. Ben Jones this year, 24 base on balls to go along with 23 hits. You throw a couple hit by pitch in there, maybe reached on an error. He's been on the bags over 50 times already in just 20 games for Lynchburg. And that's one of the reasons why he's the best, one of the reasons why he's hitting .371, on-base percentage .554 for Ben Jones. 2 homers this year for Benny Bombs. Brandon Garcia will fake the steal, go back. Pitch was wide right from Wyan's perspective, and now a 2-0 count for Ben Jones. I assume the light is green right here for Ben Jones. You've got Sean Pokerock waiting on deck.
You can tell Wyan does have Brandon Garcia really heavily in that mind.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Better pitch there. just under the letters, but outside. 3-0 count. Now the light may not be green for Ben Jones, but still perhaps might be. Got some options here again if you're Lynchburg offensively. Back to getting that leadoff hitter on. And when a pitcher falls behind like Wyan has, he does catch the outer edge of the strike zone there for strike one. 3-1, 1 out. Junior William Wyan pitching to a junior Ben Jones. See if Garcia's on the move here with a 3-1 count. He's itchy over there. Wyan holding. He'll throw over again, closer, but first baseman Lautenschlager actually had the ball pop out of the mitt. In the last 10 seasons, Randolph-Macon has made 3 NCAA appearances. Lynchburg has been in the NCAA tournament 4 years in a row. Garcia not running, Jones swinging. This ball sent down the left field line. Long run. Tuttle is there. He'll catch it on a ball that did drift back into fair territory, but Tuttle made the catch. And now 2 away here in the bottom of the first inning. It brings up Sean Pokorak. Pokey hitting .240 this season. He's driven in 13. They all seem to be big RBIs, Ethan. We've seen quite a few of them together. Seems like in a close game, if you need a guy to break through and get a key base hit, drive some runners in, so often it is this man, Sean Pokorak. I mean, he's really got a knack and a feel for being able to deliver in the clutch.
Yeah, he's a really good forwarder, and I mean, even if you go back into that World Series season 2 years ago, you go into the Super Regional against Shenandoah, Pokorak had that base-clearing double that put them ahead of the Hornets down the street and eventually helped them win the game. So he's really your perfect four-hitter in this lineup.
Yeah, big postseason in 2023 for Sean Pokorak, who was 3 hits in the D3 World Series opener against Wisconsin Lacrosse. That one just missed the zone from William Wyan. And now it's a 2-0 count. Wyan's fallen behind the last couple of hitters. Joe Munitz swung at the first pitch. Wyan did get strike 1 against Brandon Garcia, but seeming to have a little bit of trouble early. Garcia fakes the steal again. That one does catch the inside edge for strike 1 in the at-bat.
I like the off-speed choice there. 2-0. Pokorak's mainly going to be looking for a fastball in the zone, so being able to throw that curveball is a good job getting that strike in there and help even the count, or not even the count, but he'll get back into this count at 2-1.
Yeah, if Wyan can land that breaking ball, I think he's going to be dangerous. He's got enough velocity to make a hitter uncomfortable. Wyan's 2-1, by the way, on the season. This is start number 3, appearance number 7. Pokorak out in front of that one, hit it off the cap, but it's fair. Brandon Garcia is going to go first to third at least. Garcia is going to score now. That ball was misplayed by Tuttle. He kind of lost it in the tarp down there in the foul territory of left field. William Tuttle was scrambling to that one, and he gets to it, and it got by him. Brandon Garcia, we know about his speed, scoring from first base. It is another big-time RBI for Sean Pokorak. Lynchburg leading 1-0.
You said it just before the at-bat, and that's the reason why he's so good in this spot. Brandon Garcia knowing 2 outs, any contact he's going to be moving, and obviously with originally Brandon Garcia, with how aggressive he is, he was thinking he wanted to score as soon as that ball was hit over the third baseman and down the line. Like you said, just misplayed down there near that tarp and easily scoring, and now you've got another runner, or a runner in scoring position now with 2 outs, trying to get a rally here.
We always say Sean Pokorak runs well for a catcher, too. The hitter is Jacob Wright, designated hitter, hitting left-handed. He'll slap at this one. High chopper to the second baseman. He'll throw to first, throws slightly upstairs, but Lautenschlager pulls it in. Side retired, but Lynchburg sent 5 to the plate. They score 1 run on 2 hits. Hornets leave 1 stranded. Will break after 1 complete. Hornets on top 1-0 over the Yellow Jackets on LHSN. Lynchburg on the board after one. It was Brandon Garcia's leadoff single. He comes around to score on a Sean Pokerock double down the left field line. Kyle and Ethan back with you on an ODAC Tuesday. We've got some other action going on. Shenandoah is at Bridgewater, Roanoke at Avert. Virginia Wesleyan and Hampton-Sydney are going to play Thursday. And then the other games, Ethan, are Guilford visiting Ferrum, EMU taking on Washington and Lee. The standings right now, Shenandoah is 7-1, Lynchburg 6-1, Randolph-Macon 7-2, Avert 5-2. That's your top four in the ODAC right now. Still a lot to be decided. We haven't even made the full rotation here for the midweek games just yet. And, of course, if you don't know, the midweek teams, that's a home and away. Lynchburg will head to Randolph-Macon later in the year, and the weekend games are the doubleheader. So, for example, Lynchburg hosted Guilford last weekend. Next season they'll go to Guilford. Most of our fans know that, but never a bad idea to talk about it and refresh memories.
Yeah, it's always an interesting, you get to go everywhere in the conference, and some of these schools have really good places, and that's a really just good reaction timing from Logan Tabman to get the first out. I mean, they're the good thing about baseball and the beauty of it, and you can say the similar thing about every sport, is that every field is completely different. The dimensions, the foul lines, how much room you have on the foul lines are completely different, and there's no one 100% exact same field anywhere, in whether that's Division III, 2, 1, or in minor leagues in the MLB.
Yeah, so much unique about each ballpark, and that is part of what makes the game so much fun and part of the reason why it's fun to travel different places as well. 0-1 count here on James Buffone. That was John Queasy that hit the ball sharply to Logan Tapman, who fielded that. Now it's an 0-2 count as Buffone, the sophomore, will slash at that and foul it away. Coming up for Lynchburg, Gavin Collins, Parker Cato, Eric Hyatt. Buffone is batting sixth for Randolph-Macon. Jackets come into the game at 11-6. Coach Ray Hedrick got wins 500 and 501 in the career over the weekend. Strikeout there from Logan Tapman. He'll sit down Buffone with an off-speed pitch. First punch out of the game for Tapman. But yeah, Ray Hedrick in his 21st season, and Travis Beasley made the point that he was on the Randolph-Macon roster when Coach Hedrick got his first victory. So kind of a full circle moment there, as now Coach Hedrick with 501 wins in the career. Really impressive in 21 seasons. It would be impressive no matter how long it took you to get 501.
It's a small world, and I talked about, I mean, I remember Coach Beasley and Coach Jones talking about them playing each other, and so it's just, there are so many different possibilities and outcomes that could happen.
And the connections, too. Fascinating that sometimes those connections just stay around for decades. It's a 2-0 count to William Tuttle. This is going to be Tuttle's first start of the season. He's a freshman from Powhatan. He's got a hit by pitch this year and a strikeout. So just one at bat statistically, 2 plate appearances. Tuttle made a couple good grabs in the top of the first inning, but then a slight misplay on Pokerock's double that we thought allowed Brandon Garcia to come around and score. It's a 3-0 count now for William Tuttle. 5 lefties in the lineup for Randolph-Macon. They're a bit like Lynchburg, to where they'll try to play the righty-lefty matchup game, platoon system. They used to call that a bit more back in the old days. 3-1 count here for Logan Tapman. Tuttle pounds this one to the right side. Ben Jones will field at the belt, throw to first. Side retired, 3 up, 3 down for Logan Tapman in the top of the first inning. Lynchburg coming to hit in the bottom of the second. Pardon me, that was the top of the second. Lynchburg coming up next here. Swing the bats again on LHSN. Welcome back, baseball fans. Middle of the second inning, Lynchburg leads 1-0. Hornets are in action tomorrow, taking on the Greensboro Pride. Lynchburg is 8-2 in their last 10. Randolph-Macon 7-3 in their last 10 ball games. It was a big weekend for Randolph-Macon, taking down Ferrum, and there were some big scores there, Ethan. They beat the Panthers 18-11 and 14-10. 32 runs on 30 hits for Randolph-Macon over the weekend against Ferrum.
It's always a good morale booster coming into a tough matchup against the top 3 team in the nation, and being able to put up that many runs, no matter what team it is always going to be impressive. And like I said, coming into a tough matchup into midweek, especially at a field where it's always tough to play at, whether that's because of how well Lynchburg does at home or just the terrain, it's always a morale booster.
The hitter is Gavin Collins. Fifth-year man comes into the game swinging it at 273, off-speed pitch south of the zone from Wyan, and it's a 1-0 count to Gavin Collins. Lynchburg against Guilford this weekend won game 1 5-1, took game 2 13-2. Lynchburg actually had 11 hits in both ends of the doubleheader, so 22 hits total for Lynchburg, which is not shabby. 9 extra base hits in there, 8 doubles for the Hornets, 1 triple, and they only surrender 1 earned run each game. Hornets pitching has been outstanding. Gavin Collins swinging at an off-speed pitch, got under it. William Tuttle, the left fielder, is there. He'll make the grab for out number 1 of the second inning.
Good pitch to swing at from Collins. Kind of hung that curveball up there. He just got a little bit under it. Maybe if you level out that swing, we might have seen that one get out of here, but first out of the inning for Wyan.
Parker Cato, freshman from Wake Forest, North Carolina, stepping in. He had a great weekend against Guilford, 4 for 7 with 2 runs scored, 2 RBI, and 3 doubles. That's across both games of the doubleheader. It looks like Parker Cato has really settled into that right field spot. Cato lifting this one over the Lynchburg dugout, and that ball is foul. Good job by the third baseman, James Buffone, to hustle to the fence early, find the fence with his hand and then his feet, and set up to make a catch, but that ball just drifted foul. $15 hits on the year so far for Parker Cato. I mentioned 4 in the doubleheader this weekend. This is start number 16 for Cato this season. So not easy to jump into this Lynchburg lineup regardless of your grade classification, but for a freshman to just stick himself in there, pretty impressive for Parker Cato.
You can see every single game that from Parker Cato that we get to watch, you can see that bit more confidence every single, not just game, but every single at-bat.
2-1 pitch to Cato. That one does catch the inside corner. 4 strike 2. William Wyan, no punch-outs yet. He surrendered 2 base hits. Single to Garcia, double from Sean Pokerok. Breaking ball, that one froze Parker Cato. He could not get the bat off his shoulders, and there is strikeout number 1 for William Wyan. This is Eric Hyatt, first baseman, not a first year, senior from Woodbridge, Virginia. No, Eric Hyatt has been around, been a part of some big-time ball games past 2 seasons. Hyatt will swing at the first pitch and foul that away. Lynchburg attacking early in counts, swinging at the first pitch, swinging at the second pitch a lot. They obviously know Wyan is around the zone, and Lynchburg really switched on and ready to go, trying to attack fastballs and even some breaking balls early.
Yeah, I really like the aggressiveness from Lynchburg. Again, they know how good of a pitcher Wyan is, and you're going to get pitches to hit throughout the entire at-bat. And one of the common sayings is that first pitch might be the best pitch that you're going to get all at bat.
Wyan this year has walked 6 in about 18 2/3. Eric Hyatt got a hold of that ball, but couldn't keep it between the poles. It's just a long foul ball and a long strike now. 0-2 coming up. Yeah, Wyan now with the strikeout to Cato. He struck out 14 and walked 6 in basically 19 innings of work if you factor in this inning right here. The left fielder, Tuttle, is just 2 steps off of the warning track out there in left, so clearly they respect Eric Hyatt's power. Here comes another 0-2. Check swing soared. Hyatt did not go around, so we've already got a theme on the day. It's really tough to get the first base or third base umpire to give you the call on the check swing.
Yeah, I think he got it right there. There's a really good pitch from Wine on that outside corner. Good 0-2 pitch. And a great job from Hyatt to be able to hold there.
Here comes the 1-2 from Wyan. Hyatt swings through that one, and there you go. Back-to-back strikeouts for William Wyan. We're through 2 complete. Lynchburg on top, 1-0 over Randolph-Macon. All systems go for the top of the 3rd inning here on Fox Field. University of Lynchburg is the site. I'm Kyle, he's Ethan. And yeah, baseball fans, we love having you. Shout out to Brady Moore, who I believe is locked on, the director of Brady Moore and also the director of baseball analytics. We gave Brady a new title earlier in this season, and he's really loving that. Hello, and a shout out to my guy Brian Deere, a former Randolph-Macon player. He is now the sports information director, athletic communications guru for Randolph-Macon. I got to broadcast some baseball with him when we were in Richmond in 2003, or 23, not 2003, 2023 for the ODAC Final Four there in Richmond with all kinds of excitement that year, as you remember, with Lynchburg taking the title back-to-back, counting that one in 2024.
Yeah, they're going to try and make it back-to-back this year, but there's going to be some tough competition. Teams are getting better every single year. It feels like they have just juiced lineups all around the ODAC.
Well, Lynchburg's got some juiced arms, guys that can put you in the blender and the spin cycle with breaking balls like that from Logan Tapman. As he snaps off a slider for strike 1. 0-1 count to Jordan Hill, junior second baseman, batting 8th. It's 8-9-1 due up. That's Hill, Chatterton, and Bowles for Randolph-Macon. Yeah, Lynchburg going for the 3-peat. Now, did you hear the interesting, crazy tidbit about 3-peat, that the famous basketball coach Pat Riley actually owns the rights to the term 3-peat.
Really?
He got a copyright on that back in the 80s when the Lakers were doing their thing.
Does that mean we're allowed to say it here?
Well, I think it's one of those deals where you're allowed to say it, but you can't make money on it, right?
Yeah.
Breaking ball from Logan Tapman. Sean Pokerock made the catch. Jordan Hill ran down to first, which is always a good idea, but the umpires did signal that it was a clean catch from Sean Pokerock. Second punch out for Logan Tapman as he's put another hitter in the blender there. But, yeah, just back to the 3-peat thing. Yeah, I think you can say it. It's like March Madness, right? You can say it, but if you put it on a T-shirt and sell it, then you could be in violation of the copyright laws. I'm not a lawyer, though, so I don't I don't claim to even know how all that stuff works, but that's my understanding of it. C.J. Chatterton will swing at the first pitch, hit a soft liner that bounces once into the leather of Ben Jones. He'll make an on-target throw to first base for the second out of the inning.
We talk about how this Lynchburg lineup's been aggressive. It's been the same thing for this Randolph-Macon lineup, too. I mean, most of these at-bats coming down to the first 3 pitches of the inning.
Yeah, and it looks like, according to Ethan Morotsky's pitch counter, Logan Tapman has just thrown 32 pitches here. He's already got 2 outs in the top of the 3rd inning. It's been a fairly fast-moving game. I mean, I know we're not even 3 complete yet, so I shouldn't jinx it or anything. But, yeah, Logan Tapman pitching to contact. And I'll say this, Tapman's walked 1. William Wyan has walked none. That does tend to speed the game up quite a bit. Tapman inside rail with a fastball there, but doesn't get the call. And now it's a 2-0 count. Sean Pokerock confirming with our home plate umpire about where that one was. You could see just a little head turn from Pokerock asking the home plate umpire, hey, was that close? Was that on? What happened there? And this time it's an outside fastball from Logan Tapman that does land on the outer third, thigh high, and now our count is 2 balls and 1 strike with 2 outs. Jack Bowles hitting flew out to center field to start the ball game.
Obviously, as a catcher, your main job is to be able to frame pitches, call them, and get a good relationship with your pitcher. But another job is getting a good relationship with that home plate umpire, because you never know, later on in the game, it could get you some calls in the future.
Yeah, such an important piece. And I think as you move up, even more important. You don't really want your 9 and 10-year-olds talking to the home plate umpire back there, but certainly at this level, I think it's allowed and encouraged. And I think the home plate umpires nowadays much more willing to work with a catcher. Used to be a little bit more adversarial. Now they like to work together. I mean, after all, that guy's protecting you in front. Here comes a big pitch. Full count delivery. Logan Tapman to Jack Bowles. Here it is. This ball is yanked foul, and we'll rerun it at 3-2 with 2 outs in the top of the 3rd inning. Aaron Lautenschlager on deck. He grounded out to shortstop in his first at bat. And Lynchburg is going to have 9-1-2 due up in their half of the 3rd inning. Lynchburg adjusting the defense. They've got Jack Bowles played slightly the opposite way. Bowles will yank this one over Wake Fieldhouse. I don't know if that counts for our stats or not, if it goes over Wake and into the parking lot. Does that still count for our total?
No, I think we won't count that, because sometimes when it hits that top right part of Wake, the balls will tend to drop off onto the side and into that grass area.
Another full count pitch, 3rd one of the at bat. Here it is, inside, and that was a ball. Jack Bowles with a tough take right there on a pitch that looked very close. It'll be the 2nd free pass that Logan Tapman has issued. 2nd base runner for Randolph-Macon. Carter Schmidt took the other walk. And here is Aaron Lautenschlager. Swung at a first pitch fastball and grounded out to the shortstop in his first at bat. Lautenschlager scored 7 runs against Ferrum across both the games. So he was on base and doing damage for the Yellow Jackets in the win this weekend. Wins, I should say, this weekend. Tapman will throw to first and keep an eye on Jack Bowles. Haven't talked about Randolph-Macon's running game just because they've lacked base runners so far, but they steal bases at an 88% rate, Ethan. It's 42 for 48 for the Jackets, so they will work the running game for sure. And you see Logan Tapman clearly knows the story there as he's thrown to first a couple times.
As a pitcher, you've got to know, you got to keep that in your mind, not only for being able to keep that runner on first, but you also have to keep in mind for your catcher being able to go quick to the plate on your pitches, giving him even just a couple milliseconds of time to be able to throw it down to second.
Yeah, Jack Bowles is 7 for 7 stealing bases this season. So let's see if he takes off at some point in this at-bat. Lynchburg leads 1-0. Logan Tapman has yet to fire a pitch in this second at-bat to Aaron Lautenschlager. Lautenschlager will continue to wait. Another pickoff attempt there from Logan Tapman. Longer hold that time. Lynchburg defensively, straight away, normal depth, except for Eric Hyatt, the first baseman, holding on Jack Bowles. See if Tapman's ready to pitch now. Long hold again this time. He will kick and fire. That one north of the zone, and it's a 1-0 start to Aaron Lautenschlager.
Bowles doing a great job at first base, keeping him inside Tapman's mind and making sure that he knows that at any point in time he can go.
Breaking ball. I don't know if that was up or outside, but it is ball 2. 2-0 count here to Aaron Lautenschlager. Logan Tapman did not have much experience pitching against Randolph-Macon. He's thrown 1 inning in his career with the Yellow Jackets. I'll continue the thought here as Michael Solbach takes a slow stroll out to the mound to conversate with Logan Tapman and the catcher Sean Pokerok. But yeah, I mean, typically you think if an offense hasn't seen a pitcher, should be advantage pitcher, right? I mean, isn't that how you felt when you were hitting and you hadn't seen an arm yet? Maybe not.
Yeah, I mean, typically when you go up to the plate, you kind of just want to keep your, you really don't want anything going on in your mind, because if you think too much, you can think one pitch is coming, and then there's a couple more that are always going to be a possibility, and you never know how pitching coaches work their pitchers. So typically when you go up to the plate, there's so much to think about, but you have to do the best you can to not really think about anything.
But didn't you feel more comfortable when you'd seen a guy before multiple times?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. 2-0 count. Pretty short visit there from Mike Solbach, the pitching coach for the University of Lynchburg. And the pitching numbers are outstanding this year. I think Coach Solbach deserves a lot of credit there. He's a pretty humble guy. He won't take much of the credit, but I think we got to say, Coach Solbach, I mean, the numbers right now, Lynchburg's got an ERA that's almost 2 full runs better than anybody else in the conference. That's a team ERA of under 3 for Lynchburg. Tapman throws over again, so we can give you more of those numbers. The K to walk ratio this year, which is always a good one, 3.68. That is in the top 10 in Division III baseball. And basically, if you don't know what that is, it just means for every walk Lynchburg issues, they strike out 3.68 batters. There's a strike from Logan Tapman. Count is now 2-1 on Aaron Lautenschlager.
I think one stat that we need to be able to get notes on is pickoffs to pitch. Because I know this Lynchburg pitching staff loves to throw to second and first with runners on.
That's a pretty good call right there by you. That's a pretty good call. And right on cue, there's another one. Yeah, and as you and I have mentioned, there's no rules like there are in professional baseball that limit the number of pickoffs. So theoretically, always a fun word, Logan Tapman could throw over an infinite number of times to first base. Tapman will hold, now firing the 2-1. This is hit well to center field. Joe Munitz is not going to get there. The right fielder, Parker Cato, bobbles, and then he bobbles again. This is going to allow the run to score. No play at home as Jack Bowles comes sliding in. Our game is tied at 1-1. So interesting to note, both teams have had a clean base hit, but some slight misplay in the outfield has really allowed both runs to score, one apiece, as we're knotted up here between the Jackets and the Hornets.
It just couldn't get a hand on it in that right center field gap. Looked like he tried to throw it in before he had even picked up the ball, and that's one of the most important things at any position is you got to catch the ball before you do anything. Obviously, you have that anxiety. You don't want that runner to score, but the most important thing is bringing the ball in.
Well, and not to pick on Parker Cato, but something I noticed as Tapman will send the first pitch inside to Carter Schmidt, ball 1. Parker Cato, when he knocked that ball down, he went to try to pick it up with his glove, and that's very difficult to do, especially with the big outfielder's glove. Probably would have been better off using the bare hand to pick it up, or maybe even use both, kind of rake it in with the glove and hand in combination. Tie ball game. Boy, Tapman is all around the zone. Another close one there, and it's a 2-0 count. Looks like early indications are that the home plate umpire has a strike zone that is on the smaller side today. We'll see which team can adjust first and perhaps adjust more effectively. Runner at second in scoring position is Aaron Lautenschlager. He runs well for a first baseman. Tapman got that pitch in on the hands. It's lifted to center field. Joe Munitz will make the grab this time, and the inning is over, but the damage is done. It's 1 run on 1 hit for Randolph-Macon. They leave 1 stranded. They tie the game up here. Lynchburg and Macon 1 apiece on LHSN. (9-1-2) due up for Lynchburg in their half of the 3rd inning. It'll be Logan Webster, Brandon Garcia, and Joe Munitz. Still facing William Wyan, the junior from Virginia Beach, has looked solid so far. Wyan has retired 4 straight, including back-to-back strikeouts to end the bottom of the 2nd. Randolph-Macon scored in the top of the 3rd. A walk from Jack Bowles, double from Aaron Lautenschlager with the slight boo-boo in the outfield by Parker Cato. We're knotted up at 1 apiece. Another hello and a shout out, our great friend Holden Fiedler, who's actually working right now in Wakefield House. He can probably hear those foul balls when they thump the roof. But Holden Fiedler says he's always got the games on when he can't be in person. And Holden Fiedler was a national champion in 2023. Had 3 hits in that final game against Johns Hopkins.
I don't think there's anybody that's ever come into this program that's loved Lynchburg baseball like Holden Fiedler.
And now Holden Fiedler in the strength and conditioning department with our great friend Ed Smith. Holden Fiedler doing great things up there. But, yeah, I mean, you talk about a guy that loves the program, loves the school. He's still showing his love every day, working with, I believe he had the swim team in there with a workout today, and maybe women's lacrosse coming in later on this evening. They might be in there right now listening to us.
Yeah, it could be. You might have it on the loudspeaker in there.
The hitter is Logan Webster. Comes into the game swinging it at 348. 1-1 pitch coming up from Wyan. Breaking ball. Good action, but missed the zone. And now the count is 2 balls and 1 strike. Nobody out here in the bottom of the third. Webster's had a great March. You and I were just remarking pregame about how his numbers are just sneaky good. You don't really think about Logan Webster as a guy that can hit 350 or 370, but we probably need to change how we think because the numbers don't lie, right?
No, absolutely. He's been hitting really well this year, and we said it earlier, he's that perfect second leadoff so far.
Got some power, too. I've often thought his power numbers are kind of sneaky good. I know that's sort of an ambiguous phrase, but for Logan Webster on the career, 22 doubles, 4 triples, 6 jacks. So 30-plus extra base hits. Full count, check swing. Oh, he's out. Nasty pitch there from William Wyan. Looked like a two-seamer that just had some run down and in. Webster could not lay off. He couldn't pull the trigger. I think Webster tried to sell it by hustling down to first like it was ball 4, and it may have missed the zone, but not in the umpire's opinion. Good pitch from Wyan, though. That had some serious action. It's 3 punch-outs in a row for William Wyan as he's starting to get cranked up here. He'll twist off a breaking ball that's low and away to Brandon Garcia. Brandon Garcia is 1 for 1, and he scored the only run of the ball game for Lynchburg. We are tied up at 1 run apiece here in the bottom of the third. Inside from Wyan at the belt, but off the plate for ball 2. Joe Munitz on deck, flew out to left field in his first at bat. Infield has Garcia played to pull. Outfield is basically straight away. The 2-0 does catch the outer third, and now our count is 2 balls, 1 strike with 1 out. .24 hits on the season now for Brandon Garcia as he awaits the 2-1 from Wyan. Went back inside, and that's a ball, 3-1. You can really see the plan unfolding before your eyes from a pitching perspective. Wyan is trying to go in, out, really like using both sides of the plate. He's missed the zone a few times, but I think overall it's a really good way to pitch. That one was right down the heart of the dish, and now it's a full count to Brandon Garcia.
I really like the approach of Garcia. Obviously, he's been in a hitter's count pretty much majority of the at-bat, but he's challenging Wyan to come at him.
Garcia gets a piece of that, knocks it foul past the first base coach, Cameron Lane. And we'll rerun it at 3 balls and 2 strikes, 1 out. Brandon Garcia did hit his second career home run on the road last week against Hampton-Sydney. The only run that Lynchburg scored in that 3-1 defeat. Good pitching from Hampton-Sydney. Garcia will stay alive and flare this one over the Lynchburg dugout. Maybe we should be talking about Garcia with sneaky power numbers. 2 home runs in the career now. Another full count delivery from Wyan. Right-hander deals. Oh, another punch out. That was a curveball that came in at the bottom rail and on the outside corner rather. It's 4 strikeouts in a row for William Wyan. He's got 2 of them looking. You know he's got good action on the pitches, obviously. He's got swing and miss stuff, but he's got stuff even that will make you not get the bat off your shoulder. Joe Munitz is the hitter now with 2 down in the bottom of the third. Another first pitch strike, dot on the outside corner for William Wyan.
Doing a really good job with his command. He's going right at these hitters. We talked about in Garcia how he was in hitter's count, challenging Wyan, and Wyan up for it, and he's doing a great job so far.
Munitz slaps one. Longer run here by the second baseman. He'll throw. Lautenschlager kept the foot anchored to the bag. Nice play by Jordan Hill to get out of the inning. Side retired. 3 up, 3 down again. It's 7 straight sat down by William Wyan. We're tied up 1-1 through 3 complete at Fox Field. Hope you're enjoying it on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network. It's a 1-1 ball game as we head for the top of the 4th inning. He is Ethan Morotsky. I'm Kyle Haney. The pitcher right now for Lynchburg is Logan Tapman. Did yield the first hit of the ball game, the double from Aaron Lautenschlager that scored Jack Poles. And you and I were talking about that's basically 11 innings and change that Randolph-Macon had gone without getting a hit against Lynchburg as we revisit the theatrics and the heroics from Wesley Arrington in not really round 1 of the ODAC tournament last year, but game 1 of the ODAC Final Four up at Capital One Park. If you don't remember, that was a no-hit performance for Wes Arrington, one for the ages there, and you do it in postseason play, which is just even more incredible, Ethan. And it was that kind of night for Wes Arrington. Macon got some base runners in that ball game, but it was a no-hit performance from the Sheriff, Wesley Arrington.
Wesley just had probably one of the better Mays that you're ever going to see in Division III pitching. He was just so unstoppable, and it really looked like not only was it Macon, but it just looked like nobody could hit off of Wes.
Yeah, you're right. He continued that run into the regional, the super regional, and then a great performance against Endicott in Game 1 of the D3 World Series. It's a 2-1 count right now for Chaz Harvey facing Logan Tapman. Like Harvey went around there. No, he did not, according to the first base umpire. And now the count is 3 balls and 1 strike. It's Harvey, Queasy, and Buffon, the 4, 5, 6 hitters due up in the top of the 4th inning here in a tie ball game, 1-1. Tapman, right-hander, that one well south of the zone. That's free pass number 3 that Logan Tapman has issued in this ball game. And the first time that Randolph-Macon has had the leadoff runner on. We are in the top of the 4th.
With these teams going back and forth, it's like a pendulum. You really never know who's going to get the best of both these pitchers.
John Queasy is the sophomore center fielder from Pennsylvania. Comes in with a .299 season batting average. Queasy grounded out sharply to Logan Tapman his first at bat. Tapman will catch the zone there. Now, no balls and 1 strike is the count to open up. John Queasy's second plate appearance. He was a guy that jumped into the starting lineup pretty quickly for Randolph-Macon last year, as Ray Hedrick is going to take an offensive timeout. Coach Hedrick was well down the left field line, and he called Queasy down there. You get the 1 offensive timeout, an inning. Sometimes you'll see the base runner or base runners join those timeouts. But Coach Hedrick there with a little, I think that was a rhythm breaker. I think he thought Logan Tapman was about to start finding his rhythm, so he decided, let me just take time. Or perhaps Queasy wasn't looking down for the signs from Coach Hedrick, so maybe Coach Ray Hedrick just making sure that he understood the situation, perhaps. A 1 delivery coming up from the junior right-hander. Not yet. He'll throw to first. Probably a good idea after the coach takes the timeout to throw over to first in case maybe a steal or hit-and-run play could potentially be on.
Another reason why Coach Hedrick could have called Queasy down is he could have maybe seen something in the infield or the outfield that he wanted to take advantage of.
Good call. Still waiting on an 0-1 from Tapman. Here it is. Off the plate for ball 1. I'm looking back to the last regular season game of last season. It looks like Alex Mooring and Nathaniel Mack combined for 1 2/3 innings of no-hit ball to end that regular season game. So you count that. You count 2 2/3 here today. The hit and run was on, perfectly executed from John Queasy as he slaps that one into left field. Harvey will stay at second, but now it's multiple base runners on for the first time. And Travis Beasley wants to have a conversation with the field umpire about something. For now, we're going to give John Queasy a base hit. That'll be hit number 2 of the ball game. That was in the midst of trying to total up how many no-hit innings Lynchburg pitchers had thrown against Randolph-Macon between last year and this year. But I think we'll just table that discussion and turn our focus back to this ball game. It is 1-1 with, right now anyway, runners on first and second. Both teams now have 2 hits. And now we have to sort of debate and hypothesize about what Travis Beasley might be unhappy about. This field umpire is going to go to the home plate umpire. Now all 3 of the boys in the gray pants are going to get together and have a conversation about whatever transpired.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what they could be talking about. Maybe something with the base runner. But, I mean...
Yeah, there wasn't a play. It wasn't like the runner interfered with a fielder trying to make a play. Could it go back to Coach Ray Hedrick coming down and calling the timeout? I mean, I can't see that either because you get the 1 offensive timeout per inning. So I can't figure out anything there. I don't think we have any kind of a batting out of order situation or anything like that. And it looks like we may never know because the umpires have gone back to their positions and nothing has changed. So there's nobody out in the top of the 4th inning. It's a 1-1 ball game. Runners on first and second. The hitter is James Buffone. You'd think maybe a sacrifice bunt scenario right here. Buffone does show it, but the fastball is upstairs for ball 1. Tapman has not completely lost the zone, but not quite as pinpoint with the accuracy like we saw in the first couple innings.
Well, I like the call on that first pitch. Typically with runners on first and second with no out, if you have a hint that they're going to try and get a sac bunt down, typically you'll see that reverse move towards the second base pickoff.
Bunt is put down. Gavin Collins will swoop in, make the throw, and they will get the out at first base. Good one there by James Buffone. Sacrifice bunt will move runners into scoring position. Jackets at second and third right now for Randolph-Macon, with freshman William Tuttle stepping in. He is just 0 for 2 on the season. Tuttle getting the start today. We'll see if he can come up big. This could be a titanic spot right here in a game that we know is always close, Ethan. I had the stat there, 8 of the last 10 decided by 4 runs or less. And Lynchburg sensing the moment as well. They're going to bring the infield in. Tuttle swings at the first and bangs it down the line. 1 run will score. Let's see if there's a play at the plate. No, Cato's going to throw to second instead, try to get Tuttle there. He's safe. Both runs come in, and the Jackets lead 3-1.
Beautifully placed swing. Didn't have to get a ton of barrel on that. Just got it past first base. You see, like you talked about before the swing, the infield was in, so less reaction time for Eric Hyatt to be able to dive for that. And just, again, beautifully placed down the line.
Hit them where they ain't. And, yes, when you bring that infield in to try to cut down a runner at home, that is the sacrifice. If the infield's back, still probably would have been a tough play for Hyatt, no doubt, but you feel like he would have gotten some leather on it. Instead, it's a runner at second with 1 out. That's William Tuttle. Big hack from Jordan Hill, got blanked on that try, and now it's an 0-1 count as Logan Tapman, he's still got great action on his breaking ball. I think just having a little bit of trouble landing it in the right spots. We'll see if he goes back to the slider again. Yeah, off-speed pitch there. 0-2 is the count now on Jordan Hill. Jordan Hill struck out in his first at-bat. It's a 3-1 ball game now. There is 1 out in the top of the 4th inning. Lynchburg now has activity in their bullpen. Tapman checking the runner. That's Tuttle at second. Here's the 0-2. Hill got the bat off his shoulder, but did not take a bite there. And now it's 1 ball and 2 strikes with 1 out.
It's looking like we've seen Trent Young and Colin McGuire in the bullpen, both long relievers in this staff.
Jones keeping the runner close at second. This ball's hit to right field. Parker Cato's got a beat on it. He'll take 5 steps in, throwing to the relay man. That's Brandon Garcia. That is the second out of the inning. F9 if you're scoring at home, and hats off to you if you are. And there is 2 down now in the top of the 4th with C.J. Chatterton. The shortstop grounded out to second base in his initial plate appearance. First-year man from Rockville, Maryland. So you've got 2 freshmen in the starting lineup here. Batting order anyway. 1 sophomore, 2 sophomores actually. And I'm wrong again. It's actually 3 sophomores. 3 second years in the starting lineup. Chatterton gets a piece of that. Boy, that ball had some English on it, spinning, and Brandon Garcia nearly overran it. He started up the middle and then had to kind of lock up the brakes so he could make sure he did not overrun that cue ball kind of a shot. Inning is over. It's 2 runs on 2 hits. 1 left stranded for Randolph-Macon. Jackets now lead 3-1, moving to the bottom of the 4th inning at Fox Field. Bottom 4 at Fox Field. Ben Jones, Sean Pokerock, Jacob Wright due up here for the Hornets, who now find themselves trailing 3-1. Lynchburg did take the initial lead in the ball game, scoring 1 in the bottom of the 1st. Randolph-Macon tied it with 1 in the top of the 3rd. And then a 2 spot there to begin this half of the 4th inning. Ben Jones flew out to left field in his first at bat. William Wyan, number 14, starting pitcher for Randolph-Macon, now pitching with a lead for the first time this afternoon.
Honestly, it felt like that top half of the inning for Randolph-Macon was exactly how you would draw up an inning. You get that leadoff walk and then a hit-and-run single that pulled Brandon Garcia to second base and allowed runners on first and second, and then a sac bunt, and then a double from Tuttle. I mean, it all just kind of worked out perfectly for Randolph-Macon in that top half.
The leadoff walk ended up burning Logan Tapman. That was the second run that scored. It was Harvey and Queasy that scored in the inning. Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned the perfectly executed hit and run. Such a weapon, not only to stay out of a double play, but really to get the defense on the ropes, get the pitcher thinking a bit. And I love the hit and run, too, because if you end up getting a ball elevated, you can score from first with that runner on the move. 3-1 count on Ben Jones. Benny Bombs has 24 walks on the season, 2 home runs, 7 doubles, 2 triples. It's 12 singles for Ben Jones. So you think about it, he's got 11 extra base hits and 12 singles. He's got nearly as many extra base hits as he does regular hits. And it's a full count now. Wyan working from the windup. Misses inside. There's walk number 25 on the season for Ben Jones. That will continue an on-base streak that began in game number 1. This is game 21. Ben Jones has reached base at least once in all 21 contests.
See, that's a stat that we're going to have to go back into last year and see how many he had before that, like in the World Series and Super Regionals. So maybe I'll have to do that research in between today and tomorrow.
We could just do it in between innings.
Yeah.
Even. Sean Pokerock doubled. Has the RBI for Lynchburg. That scored Brandon Garcia. Yeah, I mean, just thinking back, I know Ben Jones had at least one good game. He had a 3-hit game up there in East Lake, Ohio. So, but you know, to your point, still going to have to dig a little bit. We'll work on it here. Pokerock swings at the first and fouls it over our heads. We are in the Daniel E. Wooldridge class of 1959 press box It's James C. Fox Field. Of course, we're on the campus of the University of Lynchburg. Baseball on Lakeside Drive, never a bad idea. We've got a light crowd here today, but that just means we've got more folks watching at home or at work like Holden Fiedler. And that's a lot of fun, too. The multitasking generation. I think we're all part of that now, regardless of age. 1-1 count. Wyan pitching from the stretch with Ben Jones at first. He's a candidate to run. Jones does not take off this time. That fastball was just outside from Wyan, and now the count is 2 balls and 1 strike to the catcher for Lynchburg, Sean Pokerock. He's 1 for 1 in this one. Defense double play depth, although the shortstop is deep in the hole for Randolph-Macon. If you look at the positioning there, Ethan, I don't think the shortstop could get over and help the second baseman on a ball hit to him. I don't know that they could turn a 4-6-3 double play.
Yeah, they must have some scouting reports on Pokerock on the pole swing.
This time Pokerock will go the other direction. Should be catchable for Jack Bowles. No, it's not. It bounced on the fence. The black kind of hard plastic capping on that fence hit right off of that and then caromed into medium right field. Bowles was close there. There are several members of the Randolph-Macon pitching staff down in the bullpen there. I would hope they were giving him direction about how close he was to the fence line.
Maybe doing the Lynchburg countdown of the 3-2-1.
There's not a lot of foul territory down the right field line here at Fox Field. More down the left field line. 2-2 coming up. Longer hold from Wyan. Still holding. Now he'll jump and spin. Pickoff attempt on Ben Jones. Jones back safely on the slide.
We talked earlier about how much these teams have been picking off to first base. And not only is it to keep that runner on his toes, but it's also for the hitter, too. You got to keep him thinking at the plate, too.
Sean Pokerock will spray one foul on a sharp slider there from Wyan. I agree. I've often talked about disturbing that hitter's rhythm and timing however you can. And I think that's at least one of the benefits to picking off a lot. Pokey, no batting gloves today. Red elbow guard. He almost went after another sharp breaking ball from Wyan. Just love the action. I think Wyan's got the curve and the slider. Sometimes hard to tell the difference, but they both have got some serious bite. See if Wyan goes back to it or it's fastball time. See if Ben Jones is on the move here. Full count, nobody out. That ball is low and away, and it's ball 4. Back-to-back walks drawn by Lynchburg. We know about the Hornets' elite eye as a team. Lynchburg this season now 104 walks. It's over 5 free passes per game for Lynchburg offensively.
You got to think Ben Jones almost has a quarter of those walks just to his name.
Good point. Yeah, 104 as a team. Ben Jones has 25. You're right. That's great. Great context there by you as Wyan will spin and toss to second. Ben Jones back in plenty of time.
Yeah, there's that inside move trying to see if Jake Wright at the plate is going to budge and show bunt, but now he didn't there, so there are a lot of different possibilities you can get as a hitter and the pitcher here.
Nobody out. Jake Wright will try to put the sacrifice bunt down. That was in the air for a long time. The third baseman crashing on that one was James Buffone. You got to be careful. You do not want to bunt into a double play.
You can see he's got a little bit of a run as he's bunting that, maybe trying to get a drag bunt down, but really as with runners on first and second with no outs, your main idea has to be to get that bunt down. You got to think about getting to first base after the fact, because if you get that run up and you pop a ball up, and that's a wasted opportunity to get 2 runners into scoring position.
Just looking at the stats for Ben Jones, I know we've gotten away from this, but looks like Ben Jones did not get on against Endicott, so he ended the year last year with 3 straight on base. This is a successful sacrifice bunt from Jacob Wright. Good adjustment there to bunt the top half of the ball, make it go down, and get that one on. Lynchburg runners will move up to second and third. So both teams have executed a sac bunt here in this one. Gavin Collins is the hitter, flew out to left field in his first at-bat. So, yeah, Ben Jones has been on in 21 straight this year. I think between this year and last year, that gives him 24 straight. Is now Ray Hedrick, the head coach for Randolph-Macon, will have a chat with the umpire about something, and we'll see what exactly that could be. Runners on the bases right now are Ben Jones at third. He walked. Sean Pokerock at second, who also got on base with the base on balls. And that was a short conversation with Coach Hedrick and the home plate umpire. So now we're ready to go. First baseman is even with the bag. Rest of the infield, normal depth and straight away here for Randolph-Macon. There's one out in the bottom of the fourth. Jackets by 2, but danger man Gavin Collins up. Fifth-year guy, has done just about everything in his career, and he is the career leader in many categories here at the University of Lynchburg. Game number 215 that Gavin Collins has played in. Likes the second pitch, dive by the shortstop, no play, a run will score. That's an infield single for Gavin Collins. It brings home Ben Jones, and now Lynchburg down by 1 with runners at the corners in the bottom of the fourth.
Beautifully placed swing, kind of like what we saw with Randolph-Macon. That one perfectly to the left side of the field this time, in between the shortstop and the third baseman. A really good job being able to knock that down. If that ball gets through, that's a possible another RBI. And now Sean Pokerak on third, but a good job from Gavin Collins to be able to cut the lead down to 1.
Yeah, excellent effort by the shortstop, C.J. Chatterton. You're right. Both runs probably score. Lynchburg's going to try a little first to third safety squeeze. Parker Cato fouls it away. They're going to call Cato out. They're calling Cato out. I think he either stepped on home or the ball hit him out of the batter's box. Travis Beasley is going for an explanation. I don't think that Parker Cato interfered with the catcher going to field the ball, and you would certainly think that a foul ball, the catcher would not try to go through the hitter to field it. Yeah, the explanation was short and sweet there. I can only imagine that Cato must have stepped on home or the ball hit him when he was out of the batter's box.
Yeah,
That's an out. That's the second out of the inning.
Whatever it was, the Randolph-Macon dugout, they're giving fist bumps around, so somebody obviously caught that. So cheers to them for being able to notice that and get a second out.
Still runners at first and third for Lynchburg. They trail by 1 in the bottom of the fourth. A lot happening here. 3-2 ball game. Eric Hyatt takes the first one for a ball. Struck out on a breaking ball down in the zone in his first at bat. William Wyan has really, you have to say, pitched out of some trouble. And think back to the diving stop there by C.J. Chatterton. He couldn't get an out on that ball from Gavin Collins, but we seem to think he probably saved a run. We'll see how large that looms as the game goes on. 1-0 to Hyatt. That's a fastball right down Broadway for strike 1. Logan Webster on deck.
This is one of the most important counts in an at-bat. Of course, shout out to former hitting coach Oscar Garcia. We worked on 1-1 counts all the time in my 4-year tenure here on this field. And he always talked about how a 1-1 count is so crucial in an at-bat.
Hyatt will swing at a breaking ball on that 1-1 count. Tipped it into the glove of Chaz Harvey. Chaz Harvey's done good things as the battery mate for William Wyan. Now the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes with 2 outs. Gavin Collins really got extended on that secondary lead. I wonder if he's trying to maybe get a steal, delay steal, regular steal. Let's see. Collins not going. Hyatt bangs this one to the third baseman. Wants to go the short way to second. Catch is made by Jordan Hill. Good job to come across and cover for James Buffone. Randolph-Macon out of the inning. Lynchburg scores 1. Jackets lead 3-2 after 4 complete at Fox Field. 4 complete at Fox Field. Good ball game so far, 3-2. Randolph-Macon on top. We got some people jumping in the chat to give their baseball thoughts and otherwise. We had Chris Jones in there. We had Brandon Pond in there. Who else?
I'll give a shout out to Sean Nichols. Former
nice.
Randolph-Macon player. Grew up watching him with my brother, too. So shout out to Sean Nichols and the Nichols family.
Yeah, hello to all the Yellow Jacket fans tuned in. Talk about a school that has a tradition, much like Lynchburg athletically, to where just great fan support all the time, seemingly every sport, especially baseball. Right now, Randolph-Macon leading 3-2. Still waiting for a leadoff hitter here in the the top of the 5th. I beg your pardon. Taking Jack Bowles a little while to get in there. Wonder if the umpire was growing impatient, but here we go. Pitcher is still Logan Tapman. This will be the 3rd time through the lineup for Logan Tapman. Sometimes a danger area for pitchers. Bowles has walked once. He scored the initial run in the ball game for Randolph-Macon. That tied it up back in the 3rd inning. For Lynchburg, officially in the bottom of the 4th, it was 1 run on 1 hit. They did leave 2 stranded. We had the weird play where Parker Cato stepped on the plate and was ruled out on a bunt attempt.
Something you don't see every day.
You just got to watch baseball, and you'll end up seeing everything, every situation. Now in 25 years, you'll say, I haven't seen that in 25 years, as Tapman's 1-1 got on the grip. And it's a close play at first base, but Ben Jones on the run with the sidearm sling to get the speedy Jack Bowles for the first out of the 5th.
Talk about that sidearm sling. I think that's what makes Ben Jones a perfect second baseman. He's got the perfect arm action for it. A lot of people, I don't want to say it, but there's a term that we call in baseball or softball, or really anything, is called the yips. And I think Ben Jones is perfect for that at second base, and that arm action is just it's so fun to see, really. That's just beautiful second baseman right there.
Breaking ball from Logan Tapman is strike 1 to Aaron Lautenschlager. Lautenschlager, almost the same amount of syllables as crocodile, right? Or maybe more. Actually, I think it's definitely more. Now we're getting really off the rails here, but it's fun. Lautenschlager's a good player, too, by the way. Senior from Percival, hitting at .302 on the season. He doubled. He had the first RBI for Randolph-Macon. Breaking ball from Logan Tapman. Hey, we got a called strike on the check swing appeal. Ethan, that's like 1 for 10 so far today.
Yeah.
He must have gone all the way around that time. I thought we had a few where players even went further than that, but Lautenschlager, unlucky, I guess you might say. 1-2 from Tapman coming up. Righty kicks and fires. This one's hit slowly to Brandon Garcia. He's got a hustle. Hollywood will make the sidearm throw on target. Eric Hyatt with the grab. And there's your second out of the 5th inning.
Beautiful play by Garcia, really that defensive specialist on this squad. And he's learned Fox Field in the last 3 years, and getting that pick is not an easy job in this infield.
Carter Schmidt stepping up. Left-handed designated hitter from Glen Allen, Virginia, comes into the game hitting .377. He's 0 for 1 in this one, did walk in his first plate appearance. Good location there from Logan Tapman. Lynchburg's really had a commitment to pitching in as well, using both sides of the plate. We've commented about that from William Wyan, the talented righty for Randolph-Macon. I think both of these guys, they're juniors. I think we'll see next season they'll really step up in that bona fide ace, that legitimate ace category. They're both pretty close already. I mean, Logan Tapman, a 1.99 earned run average coming into this game. I call that ace stuff right there. Let's see if Tapman is wasting a pitch or going right at him 0-2. He did get that ball over the plate, and a good piece of hitting from Carter Schmidt to kind of just serve that one over Brandon Garcia's head into left field. That's a base knock, and that will be hit number 4 of the game for Randolph-Macon.
A really good 2-strike hitting, had to go down and get that and just poking it right over the shortstop. Beautiful job being able to keep this inning alive with 2 outs.
Catcher Chaz Harvey stepping into the batter's box here with 2 outs in the top of the 5th inning. It's a 3-2 ball game, Macon leading by 1. Logan Tapman pitching from the stretch again. Let's see how close an eye he keeps on Chaz Harvey. Harvey's another one like Sean Pokerock, really runs well for a catcher. And that's a theme for Randolph-Macon up and down the order. Chaz Harvey, 2 for 2 in stolen bases this year. I'll give you the number again. Macon, 42 for 48, almost 90% in the stolen base department. How about this? Harvey banging that one to left field. A long run by Logan Webster, but he'll pull it in for the final out of the 5th inning. A little bit of danger there. It's 1 hit, 1 left on for the Jackets. They lead by 1 as we move to the bottom of the 5th inning here. Midweek ODAC action on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network. It's Kyle and Ethan back to start the bottom of the 5th. We're not the goats, but we got some goats eating up all the grass in the chat there, it sounds like. Glad the audience participation is strong. Just remember, mind your manners. Keep it PC in there and have some fun. It's great. Watch a little baseball here on a Tuesday afternoon. Wind blowing out to right center. That ball was hit well from Chaz Harvey. Nice play by Logan Webster to run it down and save extra bases and probably save another run from being scored. And here is Logan Webster to lead off the bottom of the 5th for Lynchburg. William Wyan working out of the windup for Randolph-Macon. He's pitched into the 5th inning. I think you got to give William Wyan high marks so far. 2-2 on the season coming in, 3.42 earned run average. Last year he pitched in 18 games, no starts. And I mentioned he came on strong there in the postseason. I think I actually had the number wrong. It was 6 postseason appearances total for Wyan last year. He really became a go-to guy out of the bullpen. And I think his confidence should be growing even more. We're in the bottom of the 5th, but you have to say he's kept a pretty talented Lynchburg lineup basically in check thus far.
Yeah, 2 runs on 3 hits. It's not easy to do with a top 5 lineup.
Webster's under this one to right center. Long run there, though. Let's see how much this one carries. Nice little over-the-shoulder grab by Jack Bowles. He had to really do some long-haul trucking to retrieve that one, but it's the first out. The bottom of the 5th. Webster hit it well.
Yeah, we're seeing some good swings from both these squads, and something else we're seeing is the wind out here. We talked about it at the beginning of the broadcast, how it's not a huge struggle, but even the slightest bit of wind can change any trajectory in the ball, and make an outfielder have to make a couple extra steps in a different direction.
Brandon Garcia is 1 for 2. Led off the game with a solid single. Came around to score and struck out in his last at bat. Struck out looking on a pitch that he thought was out of the zone. It's a good run of 4 punch-outs in a row from William Wyan. 0-1 count, now even up at 1 ball and 1 strike. Joe Munitz is waiting on deck. Munitz is 0 for 2 so far today. Third baseman playing on the infield grass. Shortstop shaded up the middle for the Randolph-Macon defense. Outfield basically straight away. Left fielder in a little bit close. Both these teams known for the scouting. Both of these coaches and the staffs are really some of the best in the country at the scouting reports. Garcia will foul the 2-1 away, and now it's 2 balls, 2 strikes with 1 out in the bottom of the 5th. Shortstop's going to come on the other side of second base. That's another one that's okay in the college game. You can't do that in the pros anymore. Here comes the 2-2. Perfect positioning to bring the shortstop over. That is exactly where Brandon Garcia hit it. Back to the scouting report right on cue. C.J. Chatterton was already shaded up the middle with 2 strikes. He went on the first base side of second base. He went to the right side of the infield, and Brandon Garcia basically hit it right at him.
That's that scouting that we've been talking about for both these squads, and Ray Hedrick did a great job moving his shortstop and, like you said, into a perfect position.
And you got to pitch to the plan as well, so let's give William Wyan some credit. Wyan will twist another breaking ball into Joe Munitz. 0-1 start. Yeah, I think Wyan's got some wind in the sails now. Just a 1-run lead. He seems to have confidence that's growing as the day goes on. That looked to be a changeup that was wide right out of his hand, and now the count is 1 ball, 1 strike. Ben Jones on deck. He's 0 for 1 today with a walk.
We're seeing the shift here even with Joe Munitz, as shortstop is just a couple steps to the left of second.
Another off-speed pitch that was not close. 2 balls, 1 strike. Joe Munitz came into the game hitting .339. Munitz has flown out to left, grounded out to second. Joe Munitz has got a great walk-to-K ratio. Munitz hits this one hard, but a snag by William Wyan. He's got time to underhand it to first. He'll waltz off the diamond and back into his dugout. Get a lot of high fives there. 3 up, 3 down. Again, side retired for Lynchburg in the bottom of the 5th. It's a 3-2 ball game. Let's just stay here, Ethan. We'll have some fun and banter a little bit more. You're going to get Logan Webster coming out to start the top of the 6th inning for Lynchburg. Have a feeling that the bullpen options will be ready here in case Webster runs into some problems here in the 6th inning.
Yeah, I think that's what Coach Beasley and Coach Solbach do so well, is that they let their pitchers go out as long as they can, but they have so many options to go to in this bullpen, and the entire staff is that if they need it, they can quickly get up and running. They got plenty of bullpen catchers to go to, so there's a lot of positives that you got on this pitching staff and on this roster. There's a lot of different things you can go to. You got long relievers, you got short relievers, and the good thing about this pitching staff is they've got a ton of lefties, which you haven't really had much in the past, obviously with Jack Batchmore being one of the best pitchers in the entire Division III baseball 2 years ago, but now you've got a lot more that you can go to, and it's just something beautiful that you love to see as a pitching coach.
For Lynchburg this year, the bullpen really has had a break at times thanks to this great starting pitching from Tyler Kaltreiter and Nick Matfield. Both of those guys have multiple complete games, so that really ends up saving your bullpen. And Logan Tapman pitched into the 6th inning against Hampton-Sydney last week. He's pitching into the 6th inning here today against Randolph-Macon. For Tapman last week, it was 6 1/3, surrendering 3 hits, no earned runs, 5 strikeouts. Today, Tapman has given up 3 runs on 4 base hits. Tapman has also walked 3. 2 of those walks did come around to score as well. This one is hit well by John Queasy. Parker Cato, 1 foot on the track. He'll move in and make the catch for out number 1. 1 pitch, 1 out to begin the top of the 6th inning. Queasy just did not quite get enough of that one.
Yeah, it looked like a really good swing off the bat, just maybe a little bit underneath it. You level that swing out, it might have gotten the distance in right field.
James Buffone, the third baseman, sophomore, struck out once, had a successful sacrifice bunt in the 2-run 4th inning for Randolph-Macon. First pitch from Logan Tapman is in there for strike 1. Lynchburg will have 3, 4, 5 due up in their half of the 6th. Infield straight away, normal depth. Same for the outfield for the Hornets defense. Tapman, I think, pulled a string there. Disappearing changeup that Buffone could not connect with, and now it's an 0-2 count with 1 out. William Tuttle on deck had a big double. The infield drawn in that scored 2. Tapman went downstairs again. Good block by Sean Pokerock. No swing from James Buffone, and now the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes.
I think being able to throw that changeup is so good for really any pitcher, whether you're a starter or out of the bullpen, because obviously most pitches, the first 2 that you master is that fastball and that off-speed, whether it's a slider or curveball, but to be able to flip it back over and go with a changeup is so huge.
High chopper, another tough play for Ben Jones. He's up to the challenge, throwing on the run to get James Buffone by a step. And now there's 2 down in the top of the 6th inning. This will bring up William Tuttle. On the season now for Tuttle, he's 1 for 3. He had only had 2 plate appearances coming into the day, but he came up in a big spot. We called it a Titanic spot with the infield drawn in, had the 2 RBI double down the right field line his last trip into the batter's box. 2 outs in the 6th. Here's Tapman. Tuttle swings at the first, bounces to Gavin Collins. Collins, plenty of time, throws a strike across the diamond, and it's 3 up, 3 down in the 6th inning. Good indications there from Logan Tapman. He'll stride off. Lynchburg still down by 1. It's a 3-2 Yellow Jackets lead here on Tuesday, ODAC Day at Fox Field. A quality start for Randolph-Macon pitcher William Wyan. He's going to pitch into the 6th inning. His squad holding on to a 1-run lead. It's 3-2 Jackets here as we are seeing some sunshine out on Fox Field. Randolph-Macon is going to have some premier bullpen options that they will be thinking about using as this game goes on, Ethan. But I do want to talk about, can't get out of here without mentioning Randolph-Macon starter Bear Bowers. Bear Bowers right now is a guy that Lynchburg probably wouldn't see until the tournament because he's a weekend starter. Bowers has struck out 33 and walked 1 this year. I believe he's got the best K-to-walk ratio in the country right now amongst pitchers who qualify. 33 punch-outs to just 1 walk in 30 innings and change for Bear Bowers, who is the ace this season for Randolph-Macon. That's pretty incredible.
Yeah, that's really impressive. I mean, to be able to throw only 1 walk in the amount of starts that he's had, it just allows you to go to whatever you want. I mean, the confidence that he has to have is just through the roof.
Lynchburg ace Tyler Kaltreiter, 44 strikeouts to just 2 walks. So awfully similar there. And both guys, I mean, ultra impressive. I think that probably too early to even mention this thought, but the pitcher of the year might be those 2 guys really separating themselves. Although, got to give Nick Matfield his share of credit as well. The Nick Matfield show has been very enjoyable in the second half of those weekend doubleheaders for Lynchburg. Nick Matfield still undefeated on the season at 4-0. Tyler Kaltreiter is 5-0 for Lynchburg.
Well, I tell you what, if both these squads match up in the tournament, it's going to be a heck of a pitching duel.
Jones got under that. Wynn playing some tricks with this ball. Long run for the right fielder, but Jack Bowles will hustle in and make the grab. That's out number 1 of the bottom of the 6th inning. Sean Pokerock is 1 for 1. He's walked. He's also doubled home Lynchburg's first run of the ball game. William Wyan, he might just tell Coach Ray Hedrick that the bullpen is not needed today. William Wyan is looking outstanding out there. Really has kept the Lynchburg hitters off balance. Pokerock on balance, though. Great rhythm and timing to slap that one past the diving shortstop. It's a 2-hit day for Pokey. He's doubled, singled, and walked. Sean Pokerock on for a 3rd time today for Lynchburg.
And there's that aggressiveness from this lineup. Again, that first pitch might be the best pitch that you see all at bat, and Pokerock really doing a great job driving that one up the middle right where it came from.
Yeah, great call. Wyan has pitched to contact. Wyan has walked 2. Just mentioned that Pokerock walked, and then also Ben Jones has walked 1 time, as he so often does. Here's Jacob Wright. Grounded out to the second baseman, his first at bat. Put down a successful sacrifice bunt. Lynchburg scored 1 in the first, 1 in the 4th. They've been 3 up, 3 down, actually, in the other innings. 2, 3, and 5. So the only innings where Lynchburg has gotten base runners, they've actually ended up scoring. So this could be a great sign for Lynchburg with Pokey at first, who, again, runs well for a catcher. It's an 0-2 count, though. As the wind picks up, you can hear it on the crowd microphone. Wyan holding. Now he'll spin and throw. Pokey back on a half slide. He'll scramble to his feet, and we'll get set for the 0-2 delivery. There's 1 out. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning. Championship rounds coming up here in a game that always seems to be close between Lynchburg and Randolph-Macon. Wright sprays the 0-2 to third. Long throw there. Did they get him at second? Yes, they did. Outstanding play. That's James Buffone moving down the left field line close to the third base bag and sort of an off-balance fall-away throw to Jordan Hill, who hustled over to cover second. Good job to get the leading runner there by Randolph-Macon.
A really great play just to get one out there. Obviously, you're looking for a double play as soon as that ball's hit onto the ground, but with that one just being a slow chopper, and a nice backhanded play to at least get one there.
Gavin Collins singled home a run in his last at-bat. Flew out to left, first time up. 1-0 count. As that off-speed pitch from Wyan missed the strike zone. Gavin Collins is a guy that can lose a baseball very quickly. What a spot that would be. What a spot this would be. Maybe better phrasing there. They'll keep an eye on Jacob Wright. He hustles back to the bag there with a dive. Jacob Wright on the year, 1 for 1, stealing bags. Lynchburg steals over 2 per game. Fastball just above the knee, outer third, called strike. 1-1 to Gavin Collins, 2 down in the bottom of the 6th. Randolph-Macon's going to have 8-9-1 due up in their half of the 7th. Collins has the infield shading him to pull. Outfield basically straight away. Collins will bang that one into Wakefield House. That one might have done some damage. High velocity coming off the bat that time. 1-2 coming up. William Wyan has struck out 4. They actually all came in a row. It's 4 consecutive batters that Wyan struck out across the 2nd and 3rd innings. He's got another one right there. Swing and a miss. Gavin Collins came up empty on that cut. Lynchburg did get one on, but 1 stranded. We're through 6 complete. Macon 3, Lynchburg 2 on LHSN. Through 6 complete, Randolph-Macon leading Lynchburg 3-2. For the Yellow Jackets, it's 3 runs on 4 hits. Jackets have left 4 on, 2 of those in scoring position. For Lynchburg, 2 runs on 4 hits. Hornets have left 4 on and 2 of those in scoring position. Multiple hits for Lynchburg in the first inning, and then 1 lone hit apiece in innings 4 and 6. Lynchburg offensively being kept in check by William Wyan. I think we can say the same about Logan Tapman. He's kept this Randolph-Macon offense in check. To me, it's really the walks for Logan Tapman. He's walked 3. 2 of those have come around to score. And there's your difference right there.
Yeah, obviously leadoff walks like they had in that top of the 3rd inning on Bowles. It's just leadoff runners, they're more than likely going to score every single time, and especially when you get that, I mean, I'll talk about it again, that hit and run that they had to move him over. Put runners on 1st and 2nd, and then a sac bunt. You just get that leadoff runner on. There's so many different things that you can do as an offense to be able to get that runner in.
Yeah, leadoff runner for Randolph-Macon got on because of a walk in the 4th, came around to score. But actually, Bowles, you mentioned Bowles in the 3rd. That was actually a 2-out walk. Bowles took the walk there, and then Lautenschlager doubled. But I think your point is valid either way, whether it's with 2 outs, whether it's a leadoff guy, whether it's with 1 out. The walks, yes, some pitchers have success pitching around them, but seems like so often the walks end up hurting you. For William Wyan, he walked the leadoff man Ben Jones in the 4th inning, and Ben Jones eventually scored. So you can make that case for both of these arms. It's a 1-2 count as Logan Webster gets across with a breaking ball to Jordan Hill. Second baseman has made some fine plays defensively, still looking for his first hit of the ball game. Struck out and flew out to right. Here comes the 1-2 from Tapman. Missed the zone with a hard one. And now it's even up at 2 balls and 2 strikes with nobody down in the top of the 7th.
Going back to the leadoff walks, what makes pitchers so much better than your average arms is that if you get that leadoff walk, if you're comfortable enough, I mean, that just makes you that much better.
Swing and a miss, and Tapman's got another strikeout. He sat down Jordan Hill swinging a couple times. Just punch out number 3 for Logan Tapman. C.J. Chatterton, the shortstop. He's 0 for 2. Grounded out to second and popped out to Brandon Garcia, the shortstop. Chatterton's a freshman from Rockville, Maryland. Comes into the game hitting .368. Young talent here for Randolph-Macon on display. Logan Tapman's fastball was not close, and now it's a 1-0 count. C.J. Chatterton, this is start number 16, so he's not played in 1. 4 doubles, no triples, no homers, 11 for 14 stealing bases for his first-year sophomore from Rockville, Maryland. He's worked himself into a 2-0 count as Lynchburg has the bullpen busy again. They will be on alert and on notice. We'll see how long Logan Tapman lasts in this ball game. Gavin Collins in front of the bag at third. That's a fastball that was one of Tapman's bigger misses of the day. You got to say that Tapman, when he's thrown balls, they have been around the plate for the most part. We thought the zone today was a little bit smaller than average. Strike zone, that is. Here comes the 3-0. Let's see if Tapman just goes right down the middle. Seemed like he tried and missed. Off the plate, 4 straight balls to get C.J. Chatterton aboard. That's walk number 4 that Logan Tapman has issued today.
Not going to see movement from any of the coaches going out to Tapman. They're going to try and ride him as long as they can. Get as many pitches out there. I mean, really, realistically, he's 1 pitch away from getting out of this inning.
Lynchburg still turning double plays at a pretty high rate. They've twisted 16 this season, just under 1 per game. They're tied for first in conference in double plays right now. The hitter is the leadoff man, Jack Bowles. Right fielder's really covered some ground defensively, and he has scored a run for Randolph-Macon. 0 for 2 with a walk. He's flown out to center, grounded out to second base. Tapman will throw to first one more time. Jack Bowles, Aaron Lautenschlager, and Carter Schmidt. Bowles is the leadoff man. Lynchburg will have 7, 8, 9 coming up in the bottom of the 7th. Another game between these two that looks like it may come down to a photo finish. Who gets across the finish line first? Lynchburg playing tomorrow, hosting Greensboro, 3:30 first pitch. Randolph-Macon will be back in action again at York, a team that Lynchburg fans should remember. Hornets swept York earlier today, or this year, not today. But that'll be on Thursday. Randolph-Macon will take on York. And then Randolph-Macon is at EMU for an ODAC doubleheader on Saturday. This is a slow walk to the mound from Sean Pokorak. I think that was designed to perhaps buy a reliever 1 or 2 more warm-up tosses, because now you're going to see Travis Beasley enter your picture. That's because we've got a pitching change coming up. Logan Tapman's day is done here for Lynchburg. He will exit in line to take the loss. Still some conversation by Travis Beasley. Don't see anybody warming up in the pen anymore. I would think the potential reliever would be ready at this point. Maybe Tapman could be staying in, maybe? No, the signal has been given. And Logan Tapman will hand the ball off to Coach Travis Beasley. We'll stay here. It'll be officially pitching into the 7th inning again here for Logan Tapman. So, it's 6 1/3 again. Same thing he did against Hampton-Sydney last week, where he pitched 6 1/3. Logan Tapman will hand the ball off to Colin McGuire. McGuire will inherit a runner at first base. He'll also inherit the leadoff man, Jack Bowles. Probably the right time to make a move, too, just with the pitch count, Ethan, and then the fact that it was going to be the 4th look that the Randolph-Macon lineup would have against Logan Tapman. So now you show him a new look, talented reliever. We'll get you Colin McGuire's numbers here in just a moment.
Well, I 100% agree with you. I had Tapman reaching 91 pitches, and that's tough for any pitcher, but you've got one of your really good closers or long relief pitchers. McGuire can go more than 1, 2, and 3 innings. We saw last year he did get a couple midweek starts. And so you're going to one of your more experienced pitchers in the bullpen, and a really good job from Tapman throughout this matchup. I mean, only just a couple of hits given up to a top lineup in this conference.
Colin McGuire is another Lynchburg pitcher with a sub-2 earned run average. It's 1.76 on the ERA right now for Colin McGuire. He's got 2 victories, 1 loss, 2 saves. This will be appearance number 9. He's pitched 15 and a third innings, striking out 16, walking just 5. Colin McGuire has surrendered only 3 earned runs so far this season. He has been elite, and he has been one that Lynchburg has gone to in some really pressure spots. You look at this Lynchburg pitching staff, I mean, including Tapman, they've got 5 guys that qualify with ERAs that are under 2. Tapman came into the game 1.99. Matfield's ERA is 1.88. McGuire 1.76. It's a 1.38 Ernie for Brock Duff. And Tyler Cartwrighter with a minuscule 0.63. Connor Moore's actually made 5 appearances. His ERA is still 0 right now. So Lynchburg pitching staff-wise, they have been elite. Starters, bullpen, all the arms for Lynchburg have really good numbers so far this year. They're getting put to the test against a quality offense. Randolph-Macon, ODAC leaders in on-base percentage. We've seen the Jackets draw some tough walks. 4 free passes so far. And Randolph-Macon has put together 4 hits off what we thought was really good stuff from Logan Tapman. He's out of there. Colin McGuire is in. Hasn't thrown a pitch yet to Jack Bowles. Sophomore right fielder in the crouch, waiting. He'll take a look at that. That's a fastball at the knees for strike 1 from Colin McGuire.
Really good job setting the tone coming out of the bullpen. That first pitch, one of the most important pitches of this outing for McGuire.
Runner at first is C.J. Chatterton. 11 stolen bases on the season. He'll be a threat to take off. Colin McGuire throws over to Eric Hyatt at first base again. Battery mate for McGuire, still Sean Pokerock. It's Hyatt at first. Ben Jones and Brandon Garcia up the middle for Lynchburg. Gavin Collins at third. In the outfield, left to right for the Hornets, Logan Webster, Joe Munitz, and Parker Cato. The hitter is Jack Bowles. He'll have to wait again. That one closer at first as Colin McGuire with a nice move to get C.J. Chatterton back on a head-first dive. We're in the top of the 7th inning at Fox Field. It's a 3-2 Randolph-Macon lead. Here's the pitch from McGuire. That one upstairs. And now our count is even at 1 ball and 1 strike with 1 out.
Saw Pokerak was set up way in almost in the entire right-handed batter's box. Maybe expecting a steal from Chatterton at first.
Yeah, it would have been a good pitch to throw on. See if Chatterton's on the move this time. Jump throw from Colin McGuire. Chatterton back safely on the dive again. Aaron Lautenschlager on deck. He has doubled. Carter Schmidt in the hole, 1 for 2 with a single and a walk. Runner will go, swing and a miss. Good catch and release from Pokey, and they got him at second. Sean Pokerock with a bazooka down to second base to erase the runner. Good quick delivery from Colin McGuire. Looked like it was a designed hit and run again, but now there is 2 away in the top of the 7th after the caught stealing.
Beautiful throw from Pokerak. He had that, received that down low. That's a tough pitch to be able to catch and throw somebody out at second. So great job from Sean Pokerak behind the dish.
McGuire back to the windup. Let's see if he ends the half inning right here. This one hit well. One hopper that Ben Jones has no problem with. He'll study the seams, line it up, and throw to Eric Hyatt at first. Macon threatened, not a true 3 up, 3 down. But Lynchburg out of trouble. Still trailing by 1. Jackets 3-2 over the Hornets. Who's got the king of sting here today at Fox Field? Time for us to greet a new pitcher as we begin the bottom of the 7th inning. It'll be Sam Slevin taking over. He is one of the premier bullpen options, not just for Randolph-Macon, but really in the entire conference. Slevin, 2-1 with 2 saves. He's pitched 14 innings, struck out 15, walked only 6, earned run average at 4.50 for Sam Slevin. He has been dependable throughout the years for Randolph-Macon, and he is on now with his squad sporting a 1-run lead. I guess we can debate. I mean, I think Slevin's out there to pitch 7th, 8th, and 9th, in my opinion. Always subject to change, but what do you think, Mr. Moratsky?
I completely agree with you. They're going to put him out there as long as he can, and maybe if some struggles, obviously Macon does have some good bullpen arms to go to, but I completely agree with you. I think they're going to let him go as long as he can and maybe go 7, 8, and 9, but it really just depends on how well this Lynchburg lineup can adjust to him. Obviously, adjusting to a new pitcher is not easy, especially with a pitcher as good as Slevin.
Well, William Wyans in for his 3rd win for the season, in line for his 3rd win of the season, I should say. The hitter is Parker Cato. First-year man will be getting his first look at Sam Slevin. 0-1 count. Breaking ball came around the zone, and now our count is even at 1 ball and 1 strike. For William Wyand, 6 innings strong, scattered 4 hits, did surrender 2 runs. But William Wyand on the season, in line for win number 3. I may have misspoke. He's 2-1 right now, William Wyand. So is Sam Slevin, by the way, with a couple saves in there as well. Swing and a miss from the lefty Parker Cato. First-year right fielder making his 16th start of the season. Infield shading Cato to pull. Again, this shift has really been employed extensively from the Randolph-Macon defense. Now the count is even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Slevin, everything from the stretch here. He's set and ready to go. Hands at the belt. Cato gets a piece of this. Floated to left field. William Tuttle is there. He'll make the catch for the first out of the bottom of the 7th inning.
Slevin got beautiful movement on that off-speed. Just comes in it looks so good as a hitter and then just drops right underneath the barrel. So that's just a beautiful pitch that we expect to see him go to for a majority of every single at-bat.
Yeah, it's sharp. It really is. And we thought Tapman and Wyand had really featured some sharp, late-breaking off-speed pitches, but Slevin's got that as well. Good lively fastball, upper 80s, low 90s just from the eye test right here. 0-1 count on Eric Hyatt. Hyatt's 0 for 2. He did reach on a fielder's choice and struck out in his first at-bat. Hyatt goes after an inside pitch and yanks it foul, and now it's an 0-2 hole for the senior first baseman, Eric Hyatt. 240 on the season with a dozen hits. We know Eric Hyatt can really heat up at any point, and so often he's done that in the postseason. Still a long way away from that. We are past the halfway point of the regular season. Swing and a miss. Slevin pulled the string there, took pace off, and Eric Hyatt could not connect. Punch out for Sam Slevin, and 2 down in the bottom of the 7th inning. Perfect
way to come in as a reliever. You're setting your own tone in this ball game, especially against the Lynchburg lineup that really has no weak spots. So good job by Slevin to get 2 quick outs here in the bottom of the 7th.
Logan Webster facing Sam Slevin. There's a fastball, mid-thigh, inner portion of the plate for strike 1. Brandon Garcia on deck. Logan Webster is the 9-hole hitter for Lynchburg. 0 for 2 in this ball game so far. Breaking ball just inside. Slevin, really great action on those pitches. I love how he really comes at you with everything. You can tell he does not really finish on balance or in the textbook position, but he's not worried about that. I mean, he's just rocking fire. Here it comes. Breaking ball. Yeah, you see Slevin kind of get twisted around on the landing a little bit. I love it. He's max effort. He's full send out there.
Yeah, no pitcher has the same windup, and that's the beauty of baseball. We talked about the fields earlier, but really you can talk about that with swings, pitching, really everything, and whatever gets the job done.
That one's underneath the strike zone, and now a 3-1 count. Sam Slevin, number 3, has fallen behind number 6, Logan Webster. Lynchburg has done a lot with 2 outs this year. Maybe some foreshadowing there. Let's see. The fastball was awfully close, but it will be ball 4. I mean, honestly, with the zone today, I'm actually a little bit surprised both teams haven't walked a little bit more. I mean, Lynchburg, we know how much they walk, over 5 times per game. That's just walk number 3 of the day for Lynchburg. Randolph-Macon has taken 4 free passes. Maybe the zone's not as small as I think it is. I don't know.
Well, I think it has something to do with how well all these pitchers that we've seen today have adjusted to the strike zone.
Logan Webster back on the dive. Hitter's Brandon Garcia. He's 1 for 3. Strikeout, ground out to the shortstop. And a single in the first inning. Brandon Garcia came around to score on Sean Pokerrock's double. Slevin is set, pitching with 2 outs. Infield shaded to the pull side again. We saw that in Brandon Garcia's last at bat. It was a 6-3 ground out, but the shortstop, C.J. Chatterton, was actually more in the position where a second baseman would be. Still 6-3 in the scorebook. That's always tough when you got the shift on and somebody's out of position. Close breaking ball that missed. 1 ball, no strikes to Brandon Garcia, hitting with 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th. Brandon Garcia's first year, he led the squad with 63 hits. 24 on the year now for Brandon Garcia. Watches another one go by, and it's a 2-0 count. Shortstop almost behind the bag at second base. Outfield is basically straight away against the lefty Brandon Garcia. That one down and in, and now it's a 3-0 count. Got to imagine the take sign might be on here in a 1-run ball game, bottom of the 7th. You never know. I think you got to trust Brandon Garcia to be a great decision maker, but I think most coaches would probably put the red light on. Didn't matter. That one wasn't competitive out of the hand for Sam Slevin, and it's back-to-back walks now. Slevin's control really had not been in question coming into the contest. He had struck out 15 and walked 6. But now back-to-back base on balls for the righty for Randolph-Macon has got him in a little spot of trouble with Joe Munitz stepping in, runners on first and second.
With the last 2 runners being walked, you can imagine how defensive Joe Munitz is going to be at the plate going into this next at-bat. Now you got runners on first and second. It kind of changes this inning around a ton with a runner just 180 feet away from scoring position. And you imagine with Garcia on first, anything into the gap or down the line always has a possibility of scoring a run.
Well, Joe Munitz, much like the guys hitting in front and behind him, that would be Garcia and Jones, Joe Munitz has got a pretty elite eye himself. 19 walks this year to just 5 Ks. Joe Munitz will study the breaking ball as it goes in to the mitt of the catcher, Chaz Harvey. It's an 0-1 count. Sam Slevin has rediscovered the zone. That one just missed, and now it's even at 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th. Joe Munitz came into the contest hitting .339 this year, 0 for 3 today. Joe Munitz, as a first year, was a fixture in the lineup last season. Hit .328 last year. Munitz pumps this one into right field. Tying run, trying to come home. We're going to have a play at the plate. Logan Webster, did he get around the tag? He did. Harvey did not come up with the baseball either. That allowed Brandon Garcia to advance to third. I think Hollywood was going to try that anyway. Wow, great slide from Logan Webster. Chaz Harvey had a throw that pulled him slightly up the line. He knew he was going to have to swipe tag, much like a first baseman. Harvey couldn't come up with it cleanly, and we have ourselves a tie ball game, 3-3 between Randolph-Macon and Lynchburg. It's all come with 2 outs in this inning, Ethan.
A 2-out rally and a beautiful swing from Joe Munitz. A perfect hop into the outfield, just a little bit of a short hop on the throw into the catcher. He couldn't hang on to the ball, and a good dive into home plate from Logan Webster, being able to go around the catcher and avoid a tag even if it was a clean throw.
Slevin got Parker Cato to fly out to begin the inning. Eric Hyatt struck out. Then it was a Logan Webster walk. Brandon Garcia walked. Joe Munitz with a sharp single to right field that scored Logan Webster. And the threat is still on for Lynchburg here. Runners on first and third. I think a timely mound visit. You can tell Slevin was starting to have the game speed up on him a little bit. Some tension out there. And I think this is a fantastic spot to just take a defensive timeout, go out there and settle your pitcher a little bit. And with the obviously dangerous Ben Jones up there, I think you review the game plan. I think you maybe also say, hey, If you'd rather go after the guy on deck and you don't really want to throw a strike to Ben Jones, that's fine too. Runners at first and third. You don't traditionally have a base open, but it would actually be the same situation if you end up walking Ben Jones here. It would load the bases. There are 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th. Got ourselves a brand new ball game, tied up 3-3. Brandon Garcia at third, Joe Munitz at first. See if Lynchburg tries some first to third offense. Tough play here. Jones gets a piece of this. Got to hustle. Jordan Hill on the move, making the out at first. So Randolph-Macon gets out of the inning without further damage, but they have lost the lead. We are now knotted up 3-3 here as we move to the top of the 8th inning at Fox Field on the campus of the University of Lynchburg. For Lynchburg in the bottom of the 7th. They tie it up with 1 run on 1 hit. They end up leaving 2 stranded. Couple walks in there. Everything we thought we would get from the Yellow Jackets and the Hornets, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. We talked about it at the beginning of the broadcast. It feels like every single game in the last couple of years have always been close matchups. And this is just the epitome of Lynchburg versus Randolph-Macon. With how good these teams are, how good their pitching staff and lineups are going, the coaching all around these 2 teams have just been so great the last couple of years.
Top of the 7th, it was Randolph-Macon getting C.J. Chatterton on with a walk. Lynchburg made the move to go get Colin McGuire out of the bullpen. Sean Pokerock threw out Chatterton trying to steal, and then McGuire got Bowles to bounce out to second base to end the inning. We've reached the top of the 8th now. It's a tie game, 3-3. Aaron Lautenschlager is the hitter. He'll watch a breaking ball come across for strike 1. Lautenschlager has been on base in all 18 games now for Randolph-Macon. Jackets come into this one at 11-6, 7-2 in conference. That's a called strike. Lautenschlager may have gone around anyway. Lynchburg is 17-3 on the year and 6-1 in ODAC play. The Shenandoah Hornets are 7-1 in conference. Here's the 0-2 from McGuire. He got him swinging. Punch out there for Colin McGuire. His first strikeout of the ball game. 4th time that Randolph-Macon has struck out.
Just a beautiful off-speed from McGuire's curveball. He trusts it so much, and I wouldn't be surprised in this matchup if we see him throwing that a lot more than the fastball.
I think an excellent point by you. So much is matchup dependent. But when you can trust your pitchers to use all their pitches in any count, you can really work a game plan. We know how good Mike Solbach is at that. He can just perform surgery on the other hitters over there if the pitcher is doing their part of it and doing their job, and it looks like McGuire has that going right now. Bunt attempt shown by Carter Schmidt. He fouled it away. It's an 0-1 count. Schmidt is 1 for 2. He's also walked. A good pitch there from Colin McGuire, a little backdoor breaking ball. McGuire's got that look in his eyes, doesn't he? He looks like he's all business today.
He looks like he's got so much confidence on the mound, and that's what's so important if you're any pitcher.
Back-to-back 0-2 counts. Tried the same pitch. That one was a little further away to Carter Schmidt, junior DH, hitting .377 on the year. Chaz Harvey on deck, still looking for his first hit. He's been on once with a walk. 1-2 from McGuire. Swing and a miss. Pokey mishandled. No, he got a piece of it. Schmidt just got enough of that to stay alive. We'll rerun it now. 1 ball, 2 strikes with 1 out. Top of the 8th inning at Fox Field in a tie ball game. Good fight here from Carter Schmidt. McGuire going back to the breaking ball, or maybe time for a heater. Let's see. It was the off-speed curve again, and that one outside for ball 2. Lynchburg has Schmidt played to pull in the outfield. Infield straightaway, regular depth, deep on the outfield grass line. McGuire going back inside, and that one just missed. Wow, tough pitch there from McGuire. Great take from Carter Schmidt.
There's that heater, and with a ton of run, it looked like it almost caught that inside corner, but just a great take.
Full count. Payoff pitch from McGuire. Schmidt will stay alive. Great at bat right here. This is everything you want in a college at bat, in a tie ball game. 3-hole hitter up for one team. The closer for the other squad. Yeah, this has got the makings of an elite moment right here. Let's see if McGuire stays hard, or maybe it's time to snap off the breaking ball again. The full count, went back inside, and he froze him. Strike 3. Schmidt with a glare back to the umpire. He thought it was ball 4, but it's back-to-back punch-outs for Colin McGuire. And there's 2 down in the top of the 8th.
He went right back to it. More of a two-seam, but there's just so much run on it that if you're up on that plate as a lefty, even just the slightest bit of contact on that box on the comeback from the two-seamer is so big.
McGuire breaking ball. That one's no good, and it's a 1-0 count. I probably should give Carter Schmidt a little bit more credit there. That might have been unfair to say he glared at the umpire. I don't think it was a glare. I think he just glanced back at the umpire in disbelief. Might be a little better way to phrase that one. Almost an identical pitch from Colin McGuire, and the result is the same. It's a 2-0 count. The umpire that time indicating with his thumb that that one was too far inside. 2-0. Yeah, Ben Jones has played almost behind the second base bag as the defensive positioning for Lynchburg adjusting here. 2-1. Chaz Harvey fouls one away. Harvey is 0 for 2 with a walk. He did score. That was in the 2-run 4th inning. Macon has not scored since the 4th. They got 1 lone run in the 3rd and then 2 in the 4th. Randolph-Macon doesn't have a hit since the top of the 5th inning. We're in the 8th now. Jackets looking for a key road victory. This one hit well. Brandon Garcia on the dive, got a scramble to it, rifles the throw across, and he threw it away. Oh, it's going to be a single and then an error as Brandon Garcia hustling. He knew time was almost up. He really uncorked a high-velocity throw, but it was not on target. Eric Hyatt couldn't scale the wall to keep it in play. Now it's runner in scoring position for John Queasy, who's 1 for 3 in the game.
A good job knocking that one down. And almost a good play from Garcia, but you see a little bit of hustle, trying to maybe do a little too much. And now a runner is just 180 feet away from taking the lead for the Yellow Jackets.
Mike Solbach strolling to the mound, so indications are that Colin McGuire is going to stay in. If a change was going to be made, you'd probably see Travis Beasley out there. There's a runner in scoring position. That's Chaz Harvey, who, again, does run well for a catcher. John Queasy, sophomore center fielder, will be the hitter. And you got a base open here if you're Lynchburg with first base unoccupied. You've got 2 outs in the top of the 8th inning, and it's a 3-3 ball game between 2 of the ODAC's best, not just this season, but really the past 5 years, and you can probably go even beyond that if you want to. McGuire's going to check the pitch comms device on the gloved left arm. Pokerock, the catcher, set up, and now we're ready to go. First pitch of the at-bat to John Queasy. Great location from McGuire, but it was just inside, and now it's 1 ball and no strikes. The on-deck hitter is, looks like we're going to have a pinch hitter coming up right here. The on-deck hitter has moved, really not in the on-deck circle. He's almost positioned himself in behind the left-handed hitter, and that's going to be a hit by a pitch. John Queasy, wearing the arm guard, did not move when Colin McGuire missed inside. And Travis Beasley is going to, I think, argue that point. Did he lean over the plate? Did he lean into it? The hitter does not have to move, but he also, by rule, can't lean into the pitch, if that makes any sense. And the umpires will chat this one over here as we get ready to find out who the new hitter is going to be for Randolph-Macon. It was number 4, Cole Mallory, on deck. He's a senior utility man from Ashland, Virginia. It looks like it will be the change there. Umpires have confirmed the call. So, yeah, new hitter will be Cole Mallory stepping in there for the third baseman, James Buffone. Runners on first and second now for Randolph-Macon. There's 2 down in the top of the 8th. We'll get a pinch runner now. So catcher Chaz Harvey is out. And we got the pinch runner here at second. So some changes, slowing the rhythm down just a little bit. I don't know if that's a pro or a con for Colin McGuire. He just hit a batter. Maybe a little break is good for him, although you got to think, too, Coach Solbach took the mound visit right before he ended up hitting John Queasy. 2 pitches before, anyway. It was on the second pitch of the at-bat. So Cole Mallory, right-handed hitter, stepping in to face Colin McGuire. Sophomore will twist off the breaking ball. It's a called strike 1. Cole Mallory on the year is 2 for 2. This is game 5 he's appeared in. He's actually scored 3 times and driven in 2. A couple doubles for Cole Mallory. He's got some great numbers in just limited spots. He's really looked good. This one will get away from Sean Pokerock. Now it's 2 in scoring position for Randolph-Macon with 2 down in the top of the 8th inning. That was a ball. Count should be 1 ball, 1 strike.
Yeah, really good job with 2 outs, getting runners on base and moving them into scoring position. And now just 1 little poke has a possibility of scoring 2 runs here in a crucial point in this game.
Cole Mallory, no starts this year, but great numbers as a situational hitter. He hits this one hard between the legs of McGuire. Ben Jones on the move, making the play. Fantastic glove work from Ben Jones on a ball that went right between the legs and off the mound. Colin McGuire had to dance a little bit, but Ben Jones picking it up and firing across. Trouble averted, and we are still tied. 3-3 ball game. We're getting ready for the bottom of the 8th inning on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network. Randolph-Macon threatened in the top of the 8th, but a fine defensive play by Ben Jones going up the middle and throwing across his body to retire Cole Mallory. Ends up being 2 stranded for Randolph-Macon. They had 1 base hit. Changes for Randolph-Macon include Logan Duff, who is a Lynchburg native, now behind the plate catching Sam Slevin. And 1 or 2 other changes in the field there that we're trying to get. It looked like Travis Beasley went to the umpire. Maybe a change coming for Lynchburg, or perhaps Coach Beasley was just trying to make sure he had all the defensive adjustments for Randolph-Macon. Hitting for Lynchburg is Sean Pokerock. He's 2 for 2 with a walk. Pokey yet to be retired in this one. Key RBI in the first inning that gave Lynchburg the lead to begin the game. Now we're tied 3-3. Pokey will just eyeball a low fastball from Sam Slevin. It's strike 1. Pokerock came into this one swinging it at 240. Slevin misses the zone outside, and now our count is even up at 1 ball and 1 strike. Jacob Wright is on deck. Don't see any other hitters warming up, so I don't think a change there for Lynchburg. Wright, the DH, is 0 for 2 with a sacrifice bunt in this one. Eye-line breaking ball that missed, and Pokey's ahead 2-1. Nobody down here in the bottom of the 8th. Defense shifted Pokerock to pull, not in an extreme way, but noticeably. Pokerock doesn't get a lot of this one, but he's going to dump it into right center field for a base hit. Pokey aboard for the 4th time today. It's a 3-hit day for the catcher, Sean Pokerock.
The beauty of having that outfield play a little back as a big power 4 hitter, a little poke like that is just enough to be able to just find any bit of outfield grass and get a little bloop single.
Jake Wright in his 4th start. He's the designated hitter in this one. Came into the game at 4 for 17, so statistically now 4 for 19. But a guy the coaches have a lot of belief in. We know he can sacrifice bunt, and that might be the play right here. Jake Wright put down a sac bunt in inning number 4 that advanced the runners, and Lynchburg ended up scoring one of those runs in inning 4. Lynchburg has scored in the 1st, 4th, and 7th. We're in the bottom of the 8th right now. Leadoff man aboard. That's Sean Pokerock. Third baseman is in, anticipating that sacrifice bunt. Nothing shown yet by Jacob Wright. Lynchburg did use their offensive timeout. You could see Coach Travis Beasley step out of the dugout. Sam Slevin is the pitcher for Randolph-Macon. He's impressed, even though Lynchburg did get a run off of Slevin, who is thought of as being the closer for Randolph-Macon. Ball 1 to Jake Wright. Gavin Collins is on deck. Collins has a single and an RBI, 1 for 3 so far today for the 5th-year man from Clifton. Wright will foul this one over to his on-deck partner. Gavin Collins thought he should have come up with the bunt attempt in his direction, but it doesn't matter. And it's a 1-1 count. Third baseman in on the grass for Randolph-Macon. Here comes the pitch from Slevin. Jake Wright waiting. He'll still have to wait as Pokerock back on the slide there. The new third baseman for Randolph-Macon is number 27, Mason Bodnar. Bodnar is a first-year man who's listed as a catcher from Arlington. Jacob Wright got a piece of that, sent it backwards. Foul ball, 1-2 count.
Probably won't see Wright attempt to put a bunt down, but it's nothing out of the extraordinary, a 2-strike bunt. Obviously, if he does attempt that and hit it foul, it will be a strikeout.
Nobody out here in the 8th inning. Check swing from Wright, but he didn't come close to going around. Nasty pitch from Slevin. Count is even at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Nobody out. Yeah, I think you're right. Not unheard of to try that sacrifice bunt with 2 strikes, but really does put a lot of pressure on the hitter. Slevin misses with a heater upstairs. Payoff pitch coming. Pressure situation all the way around. Third baseman is still in on the grass for Randolph-Macon. Rest of the infield playing Jake Wright slightly to pull. Outfield straight away, medium deep. Slevin is set. Here comes the full count. Swing and a miss. He got Jake Wright with some upstairs cheddar. Punch out there for Sam Slevin. He's got the first one down in the bottom of the 8th inning. Here's Gavin Collins. 5th-year man has done a little bit of everything in his career, including deliver in clutch situations. Gavin Collins now with 168 career RBI, counting the one earlier today. Slevin's going to fire to first again. Sean Pokerock back safely.
It was a good at-bat by Jacob Wright and a beautifully placed fastball. 2 strikes, eye level, right on that outside corner is one of the toughest pitches to hit in baseball.
Infield play to pull again. Gavin Collins, right-handed swinger. That means they shift over towards the third base line. Second baseman really just a few steps behind second base. 1-0 count for Gavin Collins as Slevin missed the zone with something off speed. Gavin Collins will watch that one upstairs above the letters on a fastball. Gavin Collins has a hitter's count here. Damage-worthy count. Outfield, again, medium deep. We've seen Gavin Collins play deeper before this season. And the wind has played some tricks on some balls. I think it's still blowing out to right center. Or is it blowing in?
It's tough to tell with the flag.
Yeah, I'm looking at the flag, and it's hard. No depth perception back here in the press box. Oh, that one hit Gavin Collins. Got him basically right on that Lynchburg logo above the number in the center of his back. That one might have been right on the spine there for Gavin Collins. Well, he's marching up the chart to catch the man he's having a talk with down at first base. That's Cameron Lane, former Lynchburg great and now current assistant coach. Cam Lane is your current hit-by-pitch leader with 50. Gavin Collins is close. I think Gavin Collins has been bopped 49 times now. And we'll double-check those in just a bit, or maybe another game, maybe tomorrow. Parker Cato showing the bunt. That one got away from the catcher, but Pokey could not advance to third. Runners hold at first and second. Should be a ball. It is. It's ball one. Interesting to see Cato try to bunt right there because if you recall back to his second at bat, Cato stepped on the plate on a foul ball bunt attempt and was ruled out. Mound visit coming for Randolph-Macon. Not the head coach, so I think Slevin is going to stay out there. And, yeah, it's going to be an entire infield meet for Randolph-Macon as they'll discuss some options and contingencies depending on what Lynchburg tries to do. Parker Cato is 0 for 3 today, including that weird stepping on the plate and getting out. He's also struck out once and flown out to left field as broadcasters start dropping baseballs and making a mess of things up here in the press box.
I think this is the right call. Obviously, with one out, runners on first and second, Cato showing bunt is a little extraordinary. Obviously, you want to get those runners into scoring position, but bunting them over with 2 outs. Maybe it was a drag bunt opportunity for Cato. He saw that maybe saw the third baseman a little back to his liking. We know he has some speed at the plate, so it's something that is always a possibility with these runners. But I think maybe just some talking over points with the infield for Randolph-Macon was just keeping their infield in check here with any possibility that could go on.
We've seen Randolph-Macon really use this shift pretty extensively. That could have been in Cato's thought process too, like, hey, the third baseman's basically on an island over there. Maybe I can get him moving around. Yeah, going to try it again. He will bunt it at the third baseman. In play there. Cato nearly beat it at first, but he's out for the second out of the inning. Runners do advance to second and third, but that shouldn't really be a sacrifice bunt with there already being 1 out. There are 2 in scoring position now for a pinch hitter. Lynchburg's going to make a change. They'll send lefty Tyler Howlett to the plate. Number 22, Tyler Howlett stepping in. His numbers so far this year, 1 for 1 with 1 run scored. And that is in 3 appearances, but just the 1 at bat for Tyler Howlett. It's 3 plate appearances. Tyler Howlett has walked twice as well. So both teams have made some moves here late in this ball game. Bottom of the 8th inning, tied up. Howlett sees that one catch the bottom rail for strike 1. Tyler Howlett hitting for Eric Hyatt. Hyatt will end his day at 0 for 3. Slevin delivers. That one's down and in. Good slide by the catcher, Logan Duff. Worth noting that there are runners on second and third. As a catcher, you got to dot all your I's and cross your T's. Make sure nothing gets behind you here. 1-1 count with 2 outs. Infield now straight away for Randolph-Macon. No shift this time on the lefty, Tyler Howlett. He yanks it down the right field line. Is this ball going to stay fair? It will. It's extra bases for Tyler Howlett. Both runs are in. Howlett clears them with a 2 RBI double. Lynchburg plug and play, pushing the right buttons. It's Tyler Howlett's 2nd hit of the season, and I would argue the biggest of his career. Hornets on top, 5-3.
Beautiful swing, so much confidence from Ty Howlett. We know he didn't play last year due to an ankle injury, and he's coming back and he's swinging with so much aggressiveness and confidence and puts it right down the line.
You get it off an outstanding pitcher, Sam Slevin. Some self-inflicted damage there for Slevin. He hit Gavin Collins. That ended up burning him. Gavin Collins was the 2nd runner to come around and score there. Sean Pokerock singled to start this inning. He comes around as the go-ahead run. Lynchburg up by 2 now after the big double. I believe we've got Ethan Smith on at second base as a pinch runner. Smith with great speed. They'll try to pick on him. Smith back in plenty of time. Always talk about Ethan Smith as a guy who has really embraced this role as a pinch runner. Knows what's asked of him and tries to deliver to the best of his ability. Any base hit, Ethan Smith will be a threat to score really any batted ball. Logan Webster will see one catch the top right corner of the strike zone from pitcher Slevin's perspective. It's 1 ball and 1 strike now with 2 down in the bottom of the 8th inning. An 8th inning that has seen Lynchburg put up multiple runs and take the lead. That one wide off the plate, 2-1. Hornets got one in the first, one in the fourth, one in the seventh, and now two here in the eighth, Ski.
Yeah, with 2 outs, any sort of contact, Smitty on second, he's going to be running and he's going to be on his horse trying to get to the plate.
Slevin, eyes on Smith. Now he'll pick up the target and deliver. This one hit well by Logan Webster, tailing away from the center fielder, but the grab is made on the move by John Queasy to avoid further damage. It's a big inning for Lynchburg. They take the lead. Ty Howlett with the double down the right field line to give Lynchburg the 5-3 advantage. Colin McGuire back to the slab to try to lock it down. Lynchburg looking for win number 18 of the season. You'll see if they can close it out next on LHSN. Lynchburg on top, 5-3. We've made it to the ninth inning here at Fox Field. Terrific Tuesday for baseball. Randolph-Macon has got to feel good about their efforts today, but big swings late for Lynchburg. They score one in the seventh to tie the ball game at 3-3. Lynchburg gets out of danger in the top of the eighth inning. Then they score 2 runs last frame on 2 hits. Lynchburg will leave 1 stranded and in scoring position. Here's Colin McGuire still on. Lynchburg has used 2 pitchers. McGuire relieved Logan Tapman with 1 out in the 7th inning. That time McGuire goes back to the inner portion of the strike zone. It's a 1-1 count. New hitter here for Randolph-Macon is number 6, Elias Brooks. Elias Brooks is the hitter for Macon. He's a junior from Glen Allen, Virginia. 1-2 count on the sophomore, Logan Tapman. Working with a 2-run advantage now. Breaking ball. Steep angle on that one, but it was ball 2. Both teams have made some changes. We'll try to run them down for you. We think Jacob Henry is now at first base for the University of Lynchburg. Here's the 2-2 from McGuire, right-hander. Deals and gets that one slashed into left field. Good piece of hitting right there from Elias Brooks. Brooks is aboard. And the tying run is now batting for Randolph-Macon. It'll be another pinch hitter, number 7, Aiden Pinto. Senior from Virginia Beach is in there for the Jackets.
Never an easy job coming in to pinch hit, especially down by 2 and when you just have 3 outs remaining. So a great job by Brooks to be a leadoff man and get on base.
Nobody out here in the 9th. Off speed from McGuire is a called strike to Aiden Pinto. Aiden Pinto on the year has pretty good numbers, 12 for 29. That's good for a .414 batting average for Aiden Pinto. Another curveball from Colin McGuire. That one missed, and now the count is 1 ball, 1 strike. Nobody away here in the top of the 9th inning. Lynchburg holding on to a 2-run lead. Lynchburg started off with the advantage, 1-0. Played from behind for most of the game. This one bounded foul into the Lynchburg dugout. I should say Randolph-Macon tied the game in the top of the 3rd with 1 run. Jackets then scored 2 in the 4th. From that point forward, Lynchburg played from behind. Hornets got 1 to tie it in the 7th, 2 to go ahead last frame. There's a pitch from McGuire. Nasty action, but off the plate. Good hold from Aiden Pinto. Count is even at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Runner on first. Won't say is completely insignificant, but the key is the man in the batter's box, Aiden Pinto. He would be the tying run. Go-ahead run is on deck right now for Randolph-Macon. That was a pitch that was very close, but was called ball 3. Payoff coming now. Full count to Aiden Pinto. C.J. Chatterton, the shortstop, on deck. There's the pitch from McGuire. Got him. First base is occupied, so he is out anyway. There's actually no need for Pokerock to throw. And the runner did advance to second. Runner can advance to second on that, but it's at the runner's discretion or peril. And Brooks did just that. He's standing on second right now with the shortstop, C.J. Chatterton, hitting. He's 0 for 2 with a walk. Got caught stealing in a pretty key moment. That was in the 7th inning.
Obviously don't want any runner to score, but that runner on second with the insurance run from the two runs at the bottom of the 8th, that runner on second isn't as high of a priority as the runner at the plate.
Exactly right. Should be in your no doubles defense right here, or a lot of coaches will do that with the tying run at the plate. Gavin Collins is actually in front of the third base bag. McGuire has missed the zone a couple times with his first 2 offerings to C.J. Chatterton. It's now a 2-0 count. Outfield regular depth right now. Sometimes you will see an outfield deeper in these situations to try to prevent a potential extra base hit. McGuire checking the runner at second. Here's the pitch. Went inside. It's down for ball 3. C.J. Chatterton walked in his last plate appearance. For Colin McGuire, after striking out Pinto, that's 3 punch-outs. And it looks like Randolph-Macon has struck out 6 times as a team. 3-0 on the way from McGuire. That one just missed inside, and it's a walk. First free pass that McGuire has issued. It does put the tying run on first base. Go-ahead or winning run is now in the batter's box in the form of the right fielder, Jack Bowles. Bowles is 0 for 3. He's walked once. He's faced Colin McGuire once. Grounded out to the second baseman. That was that tough play Ben Jones made going up the middle. Mound visit coming from Michael Solbach. I think both teams have really made good use of the visits. Talk to pitchers, figure out game plans, maybe calm the nerves just a little bit. All of that will come into play in a close ball game. And 8 of the last 10 between these squads have been decided by 4 runs or less. And if this one holds, of course, it would be 9 of the last 11 decided by 4 runs or less. Visit done, although Michael Solbach and Sean Pokerock, the catcher, having a little extended sidebar there as they walk back to home plate and the dugout, respectively. The pitcher is Colin McGuire. It would be win number 3 on the season for the sophomore McGuire. Colin McGuire last year was 2-1 with 2 saves. That's his record right now, 2-1 with 2 saves. There's the breaking ball, called strike 1. Good start to Jack Bowles.
You can see he's got a lot of confidence in that off-speed still. After 38 pitches, he's still got a lot of life on the off-speed.
Jack Bowles came into the game hitting .375. Sophomore from Mechanicsville will flare that one away. And it's an 0-2 count. And I couldn't agree more about the life from Colin McGuire. I think this is right in his wheelhouse as far as pitch count, as far as situation, and as far as what he's bringing. Plenty of gas left in the tank for Colin McGuire. Let's see where Lynchburg goes with an 0-2 count. Breaking ball again. Tried to backdoor him. Bowles was ready for it, and he fought it off. It's a 5-3 ball game. Lynchburg leading by 2, but Randolph-Macon has 2 on with 1 out. McGuire set. Another 0-2. Here it comes. Ready, aim, and fire. This one flared down the left field line. Long run for Logan Webster. Did he lay out? Aerial acrobatics. Webster made the catch for out number 2. What a grab. Home plate umpire sprinting out from his position behind the dish to go down that line and make the call there. And what a grab from Logan Webster. Wind definitely altered the flight of that ball. And then it was Logan Webster cleared for takeoff and taking flight.
Just a beautiful job. We've seen that a ton. As you see it here on the replay on the left side of your screen, just a beautiful dive by Webster. And again, we've seen that a ton. He's got so much athleticism out there in left field.
Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Lynchburg is 1 out away. But if you're Randolph-Macon, you're still 1 swing away. Aaron Lautenschlager, the first baseman, will take the first pitch. That's a ball. Lautenschlager has faced McGuire once. He struck out. Lautenschlager, 1 hit today. That was a double, and a big one at the time. Everything's big in a game like this. Lautenschlager comes up empty with a mighty hack there on the 1-0 delivery. Now our count is even at 1 ball and 1 strike. 2 outs, top of the 9th. It's all happening here on Fox Field. You don't always get this situation in baseball, but so thrilling when you do. Lautenschlager pulls this. Collins down to a knee. He's there. He'll casually step on the bag for the final out of the ball game. Lynchburg wins it. They take down Randolph-Macon 5-3. A comeback win on Fox Field for the Hornets. Lynchburg goes to 18-3 on the season, 7-1 in ODAC play. Randolph-Macon, tough luck in this one. They will fall to 11-7, and they are 7-3 in the Old Dominion Athletic Conference. Wow, what a ball game right there, Ethan Morotsky. And not only does it come down to the final inning, it comes down to the final pitch.
If you're a Hornet fan or a Yellow Jacket fan or just any typical baseball fan, that's a beautiful day of baseball that we just had the privilege of watching a close game the entire way. And both these teams gave it their all and just came down to a really just beautiful hit by Ty Howlett down the right field line with 2 outs. Those important hits are what makes teams so good in this conference, and this won't be the only time that these teams face off, as Lynchburg will head to Randolph-Macon just in a couple weeks, and I'm sure that Macon's going to want all the revenge that they can get in that one.
Ty Howlett, a 2-out double down the right field line, his 2nd hit of the season. And, oh, by the way, Ty Howlett now is 2 for 2. He's driven in 2, and he's scored a run as well. He's got 2 walks. He's done nothing wrong this year. What a big spot for Tyler Howlett to step up. Outstanding start for Logan Tapman. He'll get a no decision in this one for Colin McGuire. It's win number 3 on the season. And, Ethan, you can talk and give me some additional opinions and observations about the Lynchburg pitching, not even just these 2 guys, but this Hornets staff as a whole. Man, they are just rock solid, aren't they?
Yeah, I think they did a great job. Tapman went out there, threw a ton of pitches, 91, 6 1/3 of an inning, and to be able to do that against a squad this well, and he's so consistent with all of his pitches, and then to have a pitcher like Colin McGuire come in behind that, and you have all the confidence in the world on any pitch that you got going. And so when you have pitchers like that behind you, it gives you that much more confidence going in from start to the end of your starting pitching by Logan Tapman. So a great job from the pitching staff. Hitting showed up really well too. Just an all-around great game for both these squads.
Lynchburg defensively was really good again. They are going to get credited for 3 errors, but think about some big plays. A dive in the last inning from Logan Tapman. Ben Jones, a couple really nice plays out there. Joe Munitz ran some balls down. And, hey, how about the catcher, Pokey? Sean Pokerock, all he did was 3 for 3 today with a double, walked 1 time. They never got him out. And how about the big caught stealing at second base for Pokey there? That was in the top of the 7th inning. Sean Pokerock just uncorked a missile to second to get the very speedy C.J. Chatterton. I mean, Ty Howlett's probably going to get your game ball, but we need to dig another one out for Pokey in this one. Outstanding day for the junior Sean Pokerock.
Yeah, doing it all today. Defense on display. Offense definitely on display. Had a really good eye at the plate with that 1 walk. So just a great job for Sean Pokerock. Great job for everybody on this team. Like you said, the huge play in left field down the line. Would have been a foul ball, but Logan Webster made it now with that diving play. And that, again, I said it when he made the play. That's the athleticism that we've seen from him all year. So just an all-around outstanding game for really everybody on this squad.
Some final numbers for Randolph-Macon. 3 runs on 6 hits. They leave 8 on base, 4 of those in scoring position. Yellow Jackets fall to 11-7 on the year. They're 7-3 in ODAC play. Randolph-Macon will hit the road to York, Pennsylvania on Thursday, and then they're at EMU Saturday for an ODAC double dip. It snaps a 3-game winning streak for the Yellow Jackets. For Lynchburg, they get 5 runs on 8 hits, 7 hits, I beg your pardon. 5 runs on 7 hits. Lynchburg left 7 on the bases, 4 of those in scoring position. Lynchburg now 18-3, 7-1 in ODAC play, and could be at the top of the ODAC Mountain, depending on what Shenandoah does today. The Shenandoah Hornets are also 7-1 in conference. Another good season in Winchester. For Lynchburg, they've won 3 in a row now. They have won 9 of their last 11. Any final closing thoughts, Ethan Morotsky? This was such a fun day, and look, it's always nice when you build it up and say, hey, it's always close between these two teams, et cetera, et cetera. This time it definitely lived up to the hype.
Yeah, absolutely. I think if you're Lynchburg, what you can take away from this game is that good teams find ways to win, and it's always going to be tough to find ways to win against a really good Randolph-Macon squad. And if you're Randolph-Macon, your biggest takeaway is we just competed with one of the best teams in the nation. We know that there's just a little things that we got to tweak up and that we can do better on for this next matchup that they have going up against Lynchburg. So really, if you're thinking about it, this should give you just a little bit more confidence. Also, obviously, you're upset that you got the loss, but you're automatically already thinking about your next game against Lynchburg.
Another very, very valid point that you made earlier. Tough to win on the road. Tough to win on the road in the ODAC. Tough to win here at Fox Field. Lynchburg will remain undefeated at home this year. All right, let's move on to the next one. That'll be 3:30, first pitch tomorrow for Lynchburg taking on the Greensboro Pride. Lynchburg will be looking for a little bit of revenge. They lost a couple weeks ago in a midweek game to Greensboro. Ethan, don't know who Lynchburg's going to start. There's going to be some options there, obviously. We might get to see Davis Watson. Might get my first look at Davis Watson. Ethan's giving me the thumbs up. It sounds like he's got insider information. And you would assume that we'll see some more of the bullpen as well. Because, look, Lynchburg only used 2 pitchers today, which is a great thing. But you also do want to get some of those bullpen arms a little bit of work, too, if you can. Yeah,
you got to get them some reps. And obviously, McGuire with 41 pitches today. We're not sure if we'll see him too much. Maybe that'll just be as an emergency arm. But you still got pitchers like Brock Duff to be able to throw tomorrow. You got like you said, an entire bullpen. We only had to throw 2 arms today. So a lot to look forward to. And, yeah, I agree with you. You don't want to get everybody some reps. But really, on the bright side, if those people don't get reps because your pitchers are doing so well, like Tyler, Colrider, Tapman, McGuire, Duff, and Matfield have been doing so far this season, then really there's nothing to complain about in that stat column.
Big thank you to the LHSN crew for the hard work today. Thank you for watching it wherever you are. We appreciate the comments in the chat there. Hope you had fun with it. Thank you, Ethan Morotsky. My name is Kyle Haney. We'll see you again tomorrow afternoon. We'll crank up around 3:20 for a 3:30 first pitch between Lynchburg and Greensboro. And the Hornets take this one, key ODAC victory over Randolph-Macon. Lynchburg wins it 5-3. You saw it live on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network.